What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope your Tuesday's going super swell. Swimmingly.
Yeah.
Even fabulous.
Downright phenomenal.
Hope you're having a good one. Sun's out. It's kind of nice out this morning.
Yeah. Oh, and
You do have
long
the
sleeve t-shirt season has begun.
LST, long sleeve tee.
I feel like it's going to be cool enough today to justify this. I saw a couple people out yesterday in long sleeve tees, and I'm like, you know what? I should have worn mine. It wasn't super hot yesterday. I felt like I could pull it off.
Yeah, we're at the point where you could go either way.
Yep.
And like your mornings don't require like a light coat yet.
No.
Well, you don't need that yet, but give it a couple weeks and you might.
Unless you're my kids and you whine about everything. Coats.
Well, it's getting down into the upper 50s overnights now.
Yeah.
So
And we haven't gone coat shopping yet. It's for the season. So they need their new ones.
Well, I'm sure they outgrow them pretty much every year now.
The last one we had ran its course. They had a good run, man, and Hunter especially. Hunter hadn't really grown much, so we've had a pretty good run with a lot of his stuff. But he's hit a pretty good spurt over the last calendar year or so. So yeah, he had this really cute pea coat, like it was like a button on the side thing, really cute. So he outgrew that. So yep, it's new coat season.
You don't buy Rannon gender neutral coats so Hunter can wear them a couple years later.
Didn't really think about that, but actually, I was just going to go with the hand-me-downs and Hunter's getting the unicorn stuff. He seems to be fine with it. Okay. It's cool.
I was like, no, sweetie, you don't want a pink coat. You want a gray ones or something neutral, something your brother can wear here in a year or two.
I had a very 2022 moment the other day at the Halloween store.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned, I took my kids over to the Halloween store to kind of browse around a little bit. And the costume that my son picked out is from a show, Bluey. We watch it all the time. He picked the Bingo character, which both Bluey and Bingo are girls.
Okay.
I let him know, like in the store, I was like, the Bingo is a girl, right? And I was like, wait a second, it's 2022. I don't think I'm supposed to do that anymore. I don't think I'm allowed to do that. I think I'm supposed to just let him be a girl dog cartoon character if he wants to be a girl dog cartoon character. What's the answer? I don't even know anymore. I was like, as I was saying, I was like, oh, I don't want to get called out. Because I, was the Halloween store. You figure you're going to be amongst, the most liberal of folks. So
yeah,
I didn't want to be called out for, being, gender biased or something.
You're on some TikTok video. Parent refuses to let kid.
Yeah, right. Hunter, don't you want to be a football player or an astronaut? Oh, so what? Girls can't be astronauts? Yeah. Gosh, darn it. Yep.
He's gender stereotyping.
Exactly. Whatever. I know that southeastern Mexico is a relatively safe space still, but
right. I guess I'm kind of thankful that we had what we had back when we were that age. Because basically your costumes were limited to whatever they put on a plastic mask with a rubber band. Yeah. And generally speaking, it was pretty much Justice League characters or like old school like monsters.
Have you been to the store here?
No, I haven't.
It is an experience. Yeah. I mean, not only they have all their displays set up so like you step on a thing and it'll like woo at you and stuff, which is really cool. There's a spot where like you go through and the floor shakes. That's cool. But the amount of costumery that is available to just the average public nowadays is astonishing. I'm eyeballing a, Marshmallow, the DJ Marshmallow who wears the giant white marshmallow head.
I've heard of him, yes.
Okay. So there's one of those costumes. It's basically Marshmallow with like a skeleton costume, but the head will like light up to the beats in like whatever you're listening to. So I'm like, I kind of want to do that just for the fun of it, Just for the fun. Look at that guy's head.
Diet Coke.
But I mean, there's like, full inflatable like T-Rex characters for your infants.
It's almost like the hyper color T-shirts. What's your mood? I don't know. Let's consult my head.
Let's consult the marshmallow head and just see what happens. But yeah, the amount of costumery that's available today, it is astonishing. It's not just the plastic masks of yesteryear.
I keep seeing on Facebook in the advertisements that this one got marketed to me. I don't know how. But I see it a lot. It's a skeleton mask that you put on, but the jaw moves and everything.
Oh, yeah. No,
like you put the right little. I think you have to put like a little hood or something underneath it.
There's like a mouthpiece, yeah.
Yeah, but it kind of looks like a cool skeleton head that I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. As far as I have no idea what it cost or anything, but I didn't care that much. But I've been seeing it like 3 or 4 times the video for, and they show the guy and he's moving the thing, and then they show him like fully made up with the rest of it, and you see how it works. And you're like, oh, okay. Cool.
I will tell you the creepiest mask that I saw, because there's a lot of, obviously the blood, the gore, and all that. And they're the obvious scares. The creepiest thing I saw in this store, and I don't know who would do this, but if they do it, you win.
Yeah.
The costume party. It is the girl. Did you ever see Squid Game?
No, I haven't seen it.
Really?
I did not watch it. It's there.
Dude, you've got to watch Squid Game.
It's one of those ones that I want to...
No. Shut up.
No, hold on.
You got to watch Squid Game.
It's one of those ones where, like, I want to see it, but I don't want... Because I know it gets uncomfortable.
It does.
And I don't know if I'm ready for that.
That's the joy of it. And I don't like that feeling either.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't like the movie Step Brothers because of how uncomfortable it made me.
Well, see, that's just funny. I just know that's all scripted fun.
Squid Game, it's so good. But the costume is the little girl from the... See, it won't mean much to you, but the little girl from the Red Light, Green Light game.
Okay. Which I don't know what that is.
Which...
I know. Remember as a kid,
just
Red Light, Green.
This little like Chinese character, basically, or Korean character, like doll.
Yeah.
That would turn around or would go like this, and then turn around and go red light, and then as soon as she would turn around, and this is a spoiler alert, but most people have seen this part by now. If anybody even moves, like blinks or like moves a finger, they're shot.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, they're out. Which that's what means to be out of the game. Is you get shot.
Yes, I don't know. We're ready to watch.
It's so good, dude. It's real good. Like I'm so excited for season 2.
It's a TV show. It's like Running Man, but a scripted TV show, right?
Yeah, no, it's 100% a scripted series.
Yeah,
it is not a.
They're not killing people.
No.
But
no.
I know that. But I mean, it
is shot very Grindhouse style, though. So like you're gonna see a lot of. I don't want to give away too much because I really want you to watch it. But it's the way that they do it. Like some of the challenges, you look at it and you're like, I could never do this. There's no way.
Yeah.
Like one of, I don't want to give away, but like one of the second challenge is they have to carve a shape into, it's a dalgona, but what it is like a very thin piece of caramel that like is very susceptible to breaking, like hardened caramel,
Okay.
Like toffee basically.
Okay.
And so they have to carve this shape into this piece of toffee in a certain amount of time. And like nobody gets it right.
What's the winner supposed to get again if you win?
What happens is every person is worth a certain amount of money. And with every person that is out, that money gets dropped into a gigantic thing. I think it works out to like $13.6 million US.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Is it in the future? Like this?
They don't really specify.
Yeah. Okay.
It's sort of set like now.
Okay. I didn't know if it was just like Running Man where it's like in 2052.
They don't ever really give like any kind of specific dates.
Okay. I was curious.
I'd say it could probably happen within the last within the span of like 2000 to like now.
Okay. No, I've been watching the much more family-friendly Jeffrey Dahmer series.
Which, it was funny, dude. I walked into a store yesterday. I heard a candid conversation just kind of between two people about that show and how uncomfortable it made him and how they had to take breaks and just stop watching it because it was just like,
It's dark, man.
Woof.
Well, he's a creepo, man.
But in that discomfort, you're finding satisfaction, right?
I don't know if
you're still watching, right?
I am watching it. Am I satisfied? I don't know if.
But that's that. You're not satisfied about the deaths or what. I'm just saying that you're scratching that itch. You're kind of like you're finding out more about that thing.
Yeah,
that's sort of what Squid Game is. It's just like I'm very uncomfortable in the process thereof. But
you had mentioned Step Brothers earlier. And speaking of which, the dad in Step Brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Bees from an earlier role.
Was that him too?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. Okay.
He's also Jeffrey Dahmer's father.
Really?
Yes, in the series.
See? A couple choices that you make, man. If you just take him to the Catalina wine mixer, everything could have been solved. The Catalina wine mixer brings families together.
Yes. Yeah, the guy that was the Bees and Say It Isn't So.
I didn't know it was that same dude.
He's also the dad in Step Brothers.
Right.
The boyfriend, dad, depending on your perspective of the show. Mm-hmm. And then he's also Jeffrey Dahmer's father in the Dahmer series. So.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah. Looks a little older, but that's him.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I never put that together, which is funny because he plays a much older character in Say It Ain't So.
Yeah.
Or Say It Isn't So.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's well, yeah, because he's in the wheelchair and all that. So, but yeah, they the same guy.
This is why we don't know math.
But I remember a line from a movie in 1999.
Yeah, exactly. Our minds are just chock full of like random lines from like movies that will serve us no purpose.
Yes. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. Although I haven't seen our guest yet, I'm hoping they're going to make it in. We do have got a full slate for you for today's show. This hour, right about now, here we're scheduled to have Jim Townsend, New Mexico House Minority Leader, representing House District 54. He's going to join us this morning and have a conversation with us. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, Marisol Mancheco, if you remember.
Oh, Marty. It's Marty.
Yeah, Marty. We having her back on, Tai Chi for Health Institute, and she's going to be talking about, she's got going on right now and for the next, really for a couple months here, her Tai Chi for arthritis and fall prevention classes and Tai Chi for health classes. She's doing all that September, October, and all that. So want to get folks learning about Tai Chi for health and learning. It's a martial art, but it's not like Karate Kid. You're not putting on gis and fighting in tournaments.
You're learning balance.
You're learning balance,
control,
stretching, and movements.
Which actually, all of that sounds fantastic with the way my hips have been lately.
Probably very helpful for folks like yourself there. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we'll have some of the folks from the Eastern New Mexico State Fair join us. Give us, I know last, of course, fair is unofficially this weekend, officially on Monday, but the carnival and some of the livestock shows will get underway Friday and Saturday. Carnival Friday and Saturday. No carnival Sunday, and then Monday fair parade.
Yeah, they're gonna want. I think
everything starts back.
I think the carnival or the Midway opens. I want to say at noon. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, but we'll have some folks from the fair. We'll talk. So we talked livestock yesterday. We talked kind of general. So we'll probably talk some kind of parade or entertainment type things today. Big
entertainment coming to the fair this year. I'm just gonna say this. The guy we've got headlining this year's fair. Now we've had
this is more your world, so you can explain.
Roswell's had a very unique opportunity to kind of be at the ground floor of a lot of artists before they blew up. The one specifically that comes to mind is Kane Brown. He came through here right before he blew up.
Yeah, I remember that year at the fair.
And I think this is another one of those years. We had Parker McCollum that rolled through too, and right before he broke real big. But I think this is another one of those years because a lot of people are saying that Colby Cooper, who's headlining Friday night at the fair, is the next Morgan Wallen. That he's got that sort of like bad boy outlaw style.
Okay.
Doesn't really give a shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like his music is, and some of the stuff I've listened to, it's it's real edgy.
Okay.
Like it's real. Like there's a lot of it I can't play on my station.
Okay.
But a lot of people are saying this guy could be the next Morgan Wallen. So
Okay.
this might be the one to be at if you want to be like, I was there. I was there before he broke huge.
So would these guys fall into the more of the red dirt stuff, or are they more?
It would definitely fall into red dirt, but there's been a lot more of a crossover with red dirt and traditional country as of late. A lot of people aren't as focused on Nashville for country anymore. Kind of the way people aren't necessarily looking to Hollywood for films.
Gotcha.
They're like, Georgia's a huge film hub. Here in New Mexico, huge film hub. So it's sort of the same way with country. There's little pockets that have sort of sprung up, and Texas has been a massive part of that. So a lot of the Texas crossover country artists have kind of crossed over. Parker McCallum kind of broke big this year with a few of his songs. And so it's sort of that crossover mindset. Morgan Wallen is sort of falls into that outlaw country sound. It's like him, Hardy, kind of Devin Dawson, just kind of that like not traditional, like I lost my dog, but more like really telling stories and, a lot of it about drinking and stuff like that, but really heartfelt storytellers.
Oh, okay.
And Eric Church kind of falls into that too, kind of just, singer-songwriters.
Okay.
And I would definitely classify Colby Cooper as one of those.
Cool. So it sounds like if, you're a country fan, all that, these are going to be some great artists, some great quality entertainment that goes through. See, I don't know all the artists like you do. And
Colby Cooper is the main. I'm not sure who's opening for him. And then there's Tejano or Cumbia Night on Saturday with Mickey Cruz and Grupo Maldad.
Okay. Well, they're both very popular. Every time they, doesn't matter if it's Mickey or Grupo, whatever. Whenever they're doing something, they got a crowd.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, well, good. So they're all at the fair this year. So we'll probably talk some of that in the 9 o'clock
yes, sir.
hour. Plus, we'll have all of your features that include the news of the local and national variety, along with your Town Hall Wall Street business updates and your Hannity and Kim Commando updates and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. It is 7:22. I don't think our guest here yet. So let's do this. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure east of the mountains, and that'll keep things dry for our area for the next few days. Daytime highs will be a little bit more comfortable, but still pretty warm. We're looking for upper 80s today and a lot of sunshine. Overnight will be clear. We'll cool off to the mid-50s, and then we're in the upper 80s with a sunny day coming up on Wednesday and again Thursday. Fair Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 58 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 75%. Winds currently out of the southwest at 3 miles per hour. Sunny today. Expect a high near 88. Near 88, allegedly. But winds will be out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear tonight. Looking at an overnight low of 58 degrees. Winds will be out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, more of the same than today. Sunny, high, 88. Winds will be out of the west, 5 to 10. They'll pick up, shift to the south tomorrow afternoon, 10 to 15. Wednesday night, mostly clear with an overnight low of 56 degrees. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny and 86. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, sunny, high of 86. And then looking at the weekend on Saturday, sunny skies. Expect a high of around 88. And sunny with a high of 87 on Sunday. So, yeah, we're pretty much in a little groove here weather-wise. Sunny, mid to upper 80s. Not too bad, pretty much for the rest of the week here. So, I like it. It's nice. It's still a little hinty summer, but just kind of easing us into fall a little bit. Kind of like it. All right, it is 7:24. Let's go ahead and get you into your Roswell Livestock Report recap with Smiley Wooten, recapping yesterday's sale. And then we'll take a quick commercial break. As soon as our guest gets here, we'll put them on, but either they'll be with us or we'll be back doing something else. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning. This is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 1,133 head of cattle sold on Monday on an uneven to lower market with excellent buyer attendance compared to last week, and a down futures board, and buyers paying close attention to weaned and unweaned calves, stocker steers so steady, heifer mates 5 to 8 lower. Feeder cattle steady to $5 lower. Packer cows and bulls $3 to $5 lower. 3 to 400 pound steers $230, $234. 3 to 400 pound heifers $170, $177. 4 to 500 pound steers $186, $234. 4 to 500 pound heifers $169, $170. 5 to 600 pound steers $179, $186. 5 to 600 pound heifers $157, $169. 6 700 pound steers $160, $179. 6 700 pound heifers $150, $157. 7 800 pound steers $154, $160. 7 800 pound heifers $135 to $150. Packer cows $77 to $85.50. Canner and cutter cows $68 to $75. Packer bulls $95 to $1. Feeder bulls $76 to $85. Top half the cow calf pairs $1,250 to $1,350 per pair. And the bred cows not well tested this week. We do appreciate the business, and we'll talk to you next Monday morning. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
This is John.
Hey, my name is John Jackson.
He's not some actor. He's a steward of the land with a John Deere 3 Series tractor. John runs with us. Nothing runs like a deer. Get a 3 Series tractor with 0% APR for 72 months at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2316.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia or Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I know you've heard me say that you can trust Trustmark, but I want you to know what that looks like in real life. A few years ago, we installed a beautiful new roof for an older woman who was recently widowed. She was an artist, and colors were really important to her. So when she said she didn't like the color of a brand new roof, we took that seriously. She had picked the color and signed off on it, but I just kept thinking, if she's going to walk into her house every day and be disappointed, then we're just going to redo it. So we did. We ripped that beautiful new roof off and replaced it with a slightly different color, and she was thrilled. Yes, it cost us quite a bit of money to make her happy, but I want you to know you can trust Trustmark to make it exactly right every time. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Prepare for the scare. The City of Roswell presents Night of the Living Zoo, October 28th and 29th at the Spring River Zoo, with spooktastic fun for the whole family, including carnival games, a bouncing castle, carousel, and of course, trick-or-treating with lots of candy. Wear your Halloween costumes and prepare for the affair of the spooky season. Admission is only $5. Kids 3 and under are free. Get tickets and more info at roswell-connect.com. Night of the Living Zoo, October 28th and 29th at the Spring River Zoo in Roswell. See you there.
The VA reports 149,756 military veterans living here in New Mexico. What doesn't get reported much are steps to improve their quality of life and honor their service. Did you know that major improvements are coming to our only long-term skilled nursing home for New Mexico veterans? Back in July, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham announced $60 million for upgrades and new home-like residences at the state's Veterans Home in Tier C. And she cut New Mexico's income tax on military retirement for the next 5 years. She's invested millions of dollars towards veteran cemeteries, a new Vietnam memorial wall, and towards the construction of a new Navajo Code Talkers Museum and Veterans Center in New Mexico. And she approved major upgrades to the Baton Memorial Park near Silver City this year too. As the daughter of a military veteran, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham is a champion of New Mexico vets they can count on. Let's keep her.
Paid for by New Mexicans for Michelle.
Approved by Michelle Lujan Grisham.
It's possible to turn peanut butter into diamonds. Peter Pan tried it with his buddy Skippy, but they couldn't do it in a jiff. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 29 minutes after 7 o'clock. I've not heard from our guests, so we'll press on here and see if they pop in a little bit later here. But hey, yesterday we talked with Dr. Yang from the New Mexico Military Institute. She is a physics professor there at NIMI, and she came in to tell us all about a big STEAM open house event that they're going to be happening here this Saturday, October 1st. It's going to be a fun event from 1 to 4 p.m., and it's going to be at the New Mexico Military Institute. It's going to be at Stapp Field, which is the field that's right there. You know where the Pearson Auditorium is? It's all right there next to it, that area there. That's the area where the whole big STEAM open house will be. They're going to have a whole lot of fun exploring the world of science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. There's the A in STEAM. The event will feature a hayride and a crazy science show, along with STEAM activities. Food trucks will also be available, but all of the activities are free. It is free admission, doesn't cost you anything to come out. If you want to eat at the food trucks, you will have to purchase your food at the food trucks. But if you know, for the wacky and crazy science show that they're going to be doing in the Pearson around 2:30 is what Dr. Yang was telling me. But they'll make announcements and call it. It's all right there at Stapp Field, Pearson. It's all in that vicinity right there. But it's going to be a whole lot of fun and for kids of all ages. So if you bring the whole family out, the younger kids are going to, she said, really kindergarten through 12th grade. It's appropriate for all ages there. Kids of anybody in that group will find some enjoyment and fun and you know, perhaps a learning opportunity as well. But yeah, they're having, they did a kind of a STEM related event back during the summer. Kind of a summer camp style thing. This is just a big STEAM open house event from 1 to 4. You can come now. Of course, if you're wanting to learn more about New Mexico Military Institute and things like that, you can come out for that too. They'll have representatives available if you want to learn more about admissions or campus life, or they might even offer a tour or two. I'm not really sure, but that opportunity is available as well. But mark it on your calendars for this Saturday, October 1st, 1 to 4 p.m. at the New Mexico Military Institute, 101 West College. They're on Stapp Field, and they're in the Pearson for the science show, 1 to 4. If you have any questions, want more information, if you can shoot an email to Dr. Yang. It's Yang, Y-A-N-G, at nmmi.edu. And she'll answer any questions you have about it. Or if you go on the NMMI Facebook page, you will see a flyer talking about the STEAM open house and and all the information there. So, but yeah, it should be a lot of fun. So add that to your list of things to do with the family this Saturday. Also, speaking of October, which the month's almost over. Saturday, it's actually officially Halloween season, I think. Then I know the Halloween store has been open and they've probably been selling costumes since August, but official October 1. That's in my opinion the acceptable. All right, if you're gonna hang up your pumpkins and your Halloween decor, October 1. You know, have respect for the other holidays. I get from a marketing standpoint, people want to sell you Christmas decor in August, but it sure is not, you know, I don't know. It just don't feel right to me. But anyway, another day, another story. Vitalant, they've got a full slate of blood drives scheduled for the month of October. Their very first blood drive for the month of October will be this Saturday. Their Air Methods is hosting or sponsoring a blood drive this Saturday. The blood drive will actually take place at the Chaves County Admin Building. They're going to have the Bloodmobile there at the Admin Building, which is located at number 1 St. Mary's Place. They're going to have the Bloodmobile there this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And if you'd like to donate blood during that time, it's real easy to do. The best way that way, especially if you've got a busy Saturday and you're like, well, I got to go out to the STEM event. Oh, that's going to be in the afternoon. So I got to be there at 1. So I need to sign up for a blood drive between 10 and 1. No problem. What you need to do is call Vitalant at 575-840-8178. Again, that's 575-840-8178. and just call them. They'll schedule an appointment. If you've never donated before, you could actually go online and fill out the little like pre-register, and they'll give you all the information for that. And that way, when you show up on Saturday, you just roll in, literally roll up your sleeve, sit down and donate blood, and then enjoy cookies and drinks and things afterwards. But yeah, it's real easy. It's a great way to make an impact and save lives in our community. And on average, I think it's 30, 40 days. I think it depends on how they, if they do a platelet thing or just a standard, or, take some blood or however. I think it varies on the frequency from which you can donate. But on average, I think it's about 30 or 45 days you can donate blood again. So if you're able, please do so. I know we have some great folks in our community that are faithful on it. It's like every 45 days or whatever that window is, they're allowed to donate blood. They're finding a blood drive or finding an opportunity to donate blood each time. And I remember, matter of fact, it was a couple years ago. I think it was right around the time Vitalant, they finally kind of changed names and changed hands and all, changed over from United Blood Services to Vitalant. It was right around that time. But I remember they brought in a volunteer or a donator that has donated like over 20 gallons of blood in her life. And that's a lot, because you figure a pint at a time, 4 pints in a gallon, you do some math there. But yeah, that's a lot of donations. That's a lot of years of donations and things. So people like that are such a godsend to our community. So if you're able to do that and like to, that's a great way to support the community. But their first blood drive for the month of October will be this Saturday, 10 to 3 at the Chaves County Admin Building. Again, to get a appointment for that blood drive, reach out 575-840-8178. If you can't make it out Saturday, 1 week from today, next Tuesday, they're going to be doing a blood drive at the Vitalant office from 1 to 5, and that's at number 3 Grand Avenue Plaza, right by Loveless Hospital and all that. It's right there. So if you can't make it Saturday, there's another opportunity on Tuesday, and then Thursday the 7th, Saturday the 9th, Thursday the 13th. Pretty much every week they've got blood drives going on somewhere. If not here in Roswell, then in Carlsbad or Artesia or something like that. So they're pretty busy with all that. All right, man, that's a big thing of chocolate milk.
Sure. Grown up, I can make my own decisions.
I was like, man, that's a
choice, is what that is.
That is a big old. What is that? A liter? What is that?
Liter of chalky? Yeah, probably. Quart. It's a quart. That's right.
Nice.
It's all they had. It was that or like the muscle milk, and I don't really do muscle milk, so.
I've never had muscle milk.
I don't really know what's in it.
Muscles,
yeah.
Milk.
They just take like equal parts muscles and milk, which sounds disgusting.
Or do they milk mussels?
It's...
Is there like a thing of like solar plexus and stuff just hanging? They squeeze it for the milk and then put it in these
Do mussels have nipples?
I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
Almonds apparently have nipples.
Apparently.
No, I've been watching this guy on TikTok, and I'm fascinated by it. I really want to try it, like try some of the stuff that he does, but I don't think I have the patience.
Mm-hmm.
So his name is Doka Ryan. Basically, he takes stuff like candy, fruit, sometimes weird stuff like a cigar, and he'll leave it in alcohol for like a week in a jar on a shelf.
I think you were telling me a little bit about this guy.
Just to see what happens. And it's some of the stuff that he makes, it sounds like divine.
Sounds like my brother's room in 1987.
Kinda. Like if you look at the shelf behind him, he's just got a bunch of different stuff in jars.
Yeah.
But like he did was like I think Airheads or something like that in like vodka.
Oh,
and
this kid had a nasty room when he was a teenage boy.
Well, right. What's crazy is he got his start on TikTok, and I just kind of like as you watch or like find people, and then you start watching their backlog of videos, you eventually get to a point where you find out the genesis of what started them doing the thing they're doing.
Yeah.
And in this case, he was leaving things in hydrochloric acid for a month.
Golly.
Yeah, like it was him in like a gas mask with these rubber gloves and like these tongs, leaving like a Rubik's Cube in a jar of like hydrochloric acid or a muriatic acid, I think.
This sounds a lot like a show I'm watching on Netflix right now.
This is how they start. It ends in cannibalism.
Yeah.
It starts in leaving things in jars for a week to see what happens.
This is sounding like I've heard this story before. But that's because like my brother's gonna be mad if he ever hears it. But when we were kids, my brother, he's not this way now, but when he was 10, 12, he's just a nasty little kid.
We all were.
I know, but he was extra nasty. He was nasty. Like he would like get food and like half eat it, then leave it in the closet for like months, and then it would just be this
rough.
This sandwich that you know like you watch the commercials for like some kind of Febreze or something. They go into the boys' room and they always find, his room was that. But,
his room was the room,
but not TV friendly like the Febreze commercial. He'd have like at one time there was a thing and it was like soda and something and I said, "Are you ever going to give it?" He goes, "No, I just want to see what it does next." And it was literally just going through the stages of evolution of
I just want to see what happens. I'm building an ecosystem.
So when you're saying this, I'm like, this guy.
No, but if you think about it, those people, if you have that kind of patience and you can wait on mold for long enough, eventually you will create a society that will worship you as a god.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen on Futurama, so I know it can happen.
You know the guy had a booger wall too, by the way. Like my brother, except for he had booger.
Oh, that's fantastic. You dude.
he had booger bureau.
We need to make note of today's date so I can highlight the clips and send them to your brother.
No, he would,
just so you know the smack you're talking.
He would pick his nose, I guess, in bed at night. I don't know when he's doing these pick and digs. And then he would leave them. He had like a dresser like right near his bed. It was a whole beat up dresser.
Side of the dresser.
And he just and you would see, like, you go in his room and you just see these dried things.
That's gangster. Every month or so, your mom has to come in with like
it was nasty.
ice
I'm
scraper.
telling you.
That's pretty gangster. Wow.
Yeah, he cleaned up his act when he went to college, but
yeah, I would imagine.
And he went extreme. He went, like, I've told you his lists and all that kind of stuff before, and he went extreme. He went from complete slob, leaving boogers and leaving science projects on shelves, to like meticulously doing everything and just, making sure. I college boy, when they did the whole, because he went to a military kind of like an MMI. He went to the SUNY State of New York's Maritime Academy, which was like the State of New York's version of the Merchant Marine Academy. That's where he went to college and got his. My brother actually has his degree in like naval stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so
yeah, I'd imagine they probably gave him the discipline he needed.
Yes, he went and he went from like, just everything to like lists, like I've told you the list that was found one time with him.
I think so. I think
if you don't remember, I will recap. So this was years ago. My brother had come home for college to visit and everything, and he was I think maybe a year or two, and he was at a point where you knew he was kind of fully in it at this point. Right. It wasn't like the beginning or somewhere in the middle of all it. He was home visiting for Christmas, Thanksgiving, something like that. And he had left like a list of a things to do list sitting on a table somewhere or something. He was, and just like people do. This was back in the day before everyone had phones and do everything. Remind me to paint my nails, whatever it is. It was before all that.
Oh wait, I have a story about that. But go ahead.
And so he had just a notepad list, and it was like a to-do list, and it wasn't like, pick up dry cleaning, do laundry, take out the trash. It wasn't like that kind of list. His list was not just do laundry. It was separate whites from coloreds. Put whites in washer, wash whites.
Oh, wow.
Take whites out of washer, put in dryer. Take coloreds, put in washer, start dryer. Fold socks, put in sock drawer. Fold. He was step-by-stepping everything. And I'm like,
which
went from extreme booger wall to now he's meticulously,
he still has the booger wall, but now he has it categorized and separated by size, shape, color, and frequency.
And so it was, and it all spanned in that course of college time when he was he went from booger wall to over. Now I don't think he's that extreme. Sure. I think now that he's got kids and a wife, and he's running to.
He's got kids that have booger walls of their own.
Yeah, they're creating their own booger walls, and he's taking them to hockey practice at 5 a.m. That's
fun.
He tends to get less anal about things.
So I'm weird about lists. I have. You have to go to break?
No.
Okay.
Can you do it about? Yeah, as long as we take a break in about 6 minutes.
Oh, I got this. I got that. No, I do things weird with lists. I don't usually write myself a list. What I'll do, and if anybody else does this, please let me know so I don't feel as weird. But instead of opening up the notes app on my phone, I will literally text myself my list.
Okay.
So it'll say stuff like the other day I needed.
This is like Dirty Jobs with Norm Macdonald and his digital recorder. Kind of,
almost exactly like that. Yes. I used to have a dictaphone, which I did that too, also. But and what I would do, and this is just kind of a me quirk. I would always put "and" at the end of it to continue the list.
Okay.
So the list I made for myself this last time was bread and milk and eggs and something sweet for dessert and salsa and something else and then I ended it with and I sent it to myself. And then I went to the store and I went and opened my list and I noticed I had a text message that said, "Who is this?" I sent my message to one number off of my phone number.
Oh no.
And so I sent my shopping list to I don't know who.
Oh, really? So what? You didn't even know?
Don't even know. It was my phone number neighbor.
Ah.
Yeah. Whereas mine is, I think I put, it was 046 and then the rest of it. Yeah. And I just got a text back. "Who is this?" I'm like, "Sorry, wrong number." I'm really glad it wasn't something else. Because I could have I've done this before where I'll have an idea for a bit or an idea for when I used to write stand up.
And then they were
and I would text myself stand up premises or funeral with no pants. It would just be
that's creepy texting.
Yeah, simple funeral with no pants or something like that. If that would have been the text. Now, have you ever done that? Have you ever sent the wrong text to someone?
I'm sure I have, but I don't think it's ever been dangerous and nefarious. I've never had anything "Oh no, that was not."
Here's the best tease ever for us to get our after hours show. I've got the best story about that happening to me, but I can't share it on the radio.
Okay. Post-divorce?
It was
single.
It was actually it was pre-divorce.
Okay.
It was pre-divorce. It wasn't like that.
Okay.
It was something.
I was like, you spread yourself too thin in the dating world and start making promises to other people and doing things like that. Okay. I was just curious. I know single man problems, but
no, I just thought of another one. But yeah, but that one actually happened. That one did happen post-divorce. But that's neither here. The one I'm thinking of, that's just NSFW.
Gotcha. Well, if we ever do if some bar lets us do a
Mornings with Mike Winters, nights.
Yeah. After dark. We'll save it for that show. It is 7:48. Let's go ahead and pause for some local news, your Kim Commando update. Also, we'll check in and get your Chaves County sports update as well, and Wall Street update, and a couple commercials to pay for that giant vat of chocolate milk. Right. And we'll be back. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
And now for your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. We begin with a traffic alert for you as work begins on Avenue D in Lovington. New Mexico 83 in Lovington will be closed entirely through the month of December. Businesses will need to utilize their secondary entrances for business and employment. During the road closure, they will be installing the storm drain and manholes, which have a depth of up to 10 feet. The road closure is to protect the pedestrian traffic, driving motorists, and the construction crews during the day and night. The Eastern New Mexico State Fair is coming soon to Roswell. This year, the fair is celebrating its centennial year. It started in 1922 as the Cotton Carnival. The purpose of the fair was to exhibit the agriculture of the Pecos Valley, especially cotton production. The fair runs this year October 3rd through 8th, with Monday's parade kicking off everything at 11 a.m. For more details and a complete schedule, go online to enmsf.com. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
Today, a reminder of how far we've come in tech since the 1960s. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. The 1960s was the decade that changed everything. Color TVs became common. Transistor radios with a single earphone were everywhere. Most people alive today have never seen one. The more transistors, the better the radio. A 12-transistor radio was top of the line. All of this brings me to Apple's new AirPods Pro 2, their best ever noise-canceling earbuds. They have twice the noise-canceling ability of their predecessor, and arguably the best on the market. How did Apple do it? Their new H2 processor, with 12 million microscopic transistors inside, all work to sort out what's noise from what you actually want to hear. Viewing it all from the 60s and 12 transistor radios, AirPods Pro 2 would seem like science fiction. Get my new daily podcast for tech news and advice called Kim Commando today. Here's a question. Is there anything that matters more than the safety of you and your loved ones? Of course not. So isn't it strange that not all home security companies truly put you first? Old school home security companies set you up with outdated technology, overcharge you for service, and lock you into binding multi-year contracts. That's why I use and trust SimpliSafe Home Security. SimpliSafe protects you with cutting-edge security technology, powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who always have your back. SimpliSafe blankets your home in protection with advanced sensors for every room, window, and door. Their monitoring experts use proprietary advanced response technology to visually confirm when a break-in is real. Customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafekim.com. Go today and claim a free indoor security camera plus 20% off with interactive monitoring. That's simplysafekim.com. Once again, that address, simplysafekim.com.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure east of the mountains, and that'll keep things dry for our area for the next few days. Daytime highs will be a little bit more comfortable, but still pretty warm. We're looking for upper 80s today and a lot of sunshine. Overnight will be clear. We'll cool off to the mid-50s, and then we're in the upper 80s with a sunny day coming up on Wednesday and again Thursday, Fair Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Volleyball action tonight. Both Goddard and Roswell will be on their home court. Both games start at 6:30. Tonight, it's Artesia visiting Roswell. The Coyotes are 9-5 after a trip to the Rio Rancho Jamboree over the weekend, where they lost in a sweep to Hobbs 3-0, but then lost to Capital a lot closer, 3-2. Meanwhile, Goddard was at that same Rio Rancho tournament, lost 3-0 to Cibola before sweeping Artesia 3-0. Goddard's now 7-2. They'll be playing host to Hobbs, which is 7-6 tonight at 6:30. Also tonight, you've got NMMI at home against Hondo. The Colts are 6-5, defeated Tatum last Tuesday 3-2, and Lake Arthur at Jowl tonight starts at 6. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. President Biden wants consumers to see a more complete price on airline tickets, including baggage and change fees, before they buy, as the White House continues to search for ways to lower costs for Americans amid persistently high inflation. The White House says the proposed rule from the Transportation Department will prevent airlines from hiding the true cost of airline tickets. Top U.S. insurance companies and associations say California is risking a crisis in the nation's largest automobile insurance market by refusing to approve any rate increases for more than 2 years. The companies already are cutting back and say they can't continue operating at a loss. And the head of the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde, said Monday that the economic outlook is darkening, and she expects business activity to slow substantially in the coming months as high energy and food prices, pushed up by the war in Ukraine, sap consumer spending power. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Celebrate a century of tradition at the Eastern New Mexico State Fair, October 3rd through the 8th at the fairgrounds in Roswell. Come experience it all. The 4-H and FFA Pavilion, the Arts and Crafts and Commercial Building, the livestock shows and sale, the amazing food, Wright's Carnival, and of course, the amazing entertainment, including the NASCAR experience, Dan the Farmer Man, and music each night with headliner Colby Cooper Friday night at 6 p.m.
Don't act like it's breaking news.
And Saturday, it's Cumbia Night featuring Mickey Cruz and Grupo Maldad. And of course, the Ranch Rodeo Friday and Saturday night. Best of all, parking and all the concerts and the rodeo are free with your admission to the fair. Admission is only $12 for adults, $8 for kids and seniors, and kids 2 and under are free. Get more info at enmsf.com. The Eastern New Mexico State Fair, celebrating 100 years, October 3rd through the 8th. Ad paid for through the City of Roswell Launders Tax.
Hello, I'm Tara Mitcha, State Director for the National Rifle Association, letting you know that the NRA Political Victory Fund endorses State Representative Greg Nybert for re-election in House District 59. Greg has worked relentlessly to support our Second Amendment rights and to oppose legislation that restricts law-abiding gun owners. Progressive politicians in Santa Fe have an agenda that would erode our right to protect our families, our homes, and ourselves. Greg Nybert will vigorously oppose those who want to tread on our right to keep and bear arms and our precious liberty and freedom. He is a true friend of the Second Amendment and of our sporting heritage in New Mexico. Vote Greg Nybert, representative for House District 59.
When you're not feeling well, the last thing you want to worry about is how soon you can get in to see your healthcare provider, or even finding a provider if you don't have one. Well, now you can feel better, knowing that the Loveless Healthcare Center in Roswell offers appointments for when you're not feeling well, or for checkups, annual exams, or any chronic issues that need attention. To schedule an appointment or to find a new healthcare provider, call 575-625-3222 today.
The season rolls on for your Roswell Coyotes, and coming up this Friday night, your Coyotes are back home at the Wool Bowl, squaring off against the Panthers of Piedra Vista High. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and KSVPTV.com has got you covered with every second of the action. Join Art Sandoval and Kelly McDonald for the pregame show at 6:45 and kickoff at 7. Coyotes versus the Panthers of Piedra Vista, Friday beginning at 6:45 on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and online at KSVPTV.com. Southeastern New Mexico's sports authority, then, now, and always.
If you suffer from pogonophobia, you would not want to attend a party with the following people: Kenny Rogers, Santa Claus, Willie Nelson, the cast of Duck Dynasty, and 2/3 of ZZ Top. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7, closing in on 7:58. Stay tuned next hour, about 8:15 or so. We're going to be joined, Madi Marisol Mencheco is going to be joining us. It's been about a year or so. Actually, I think it's been a little longer than that since Madi's been on the show with us. But she's with the Tai Chi for Health, and she offers and has been offering for several years now Tai Chi for Health, for arthritis, fall prevention, things like that. So she right now she's back to specializing in your Tai Chi for arthritis and fall prevention classes. She has classes that actually got underway here in September and continue through November and continue on past that as well too. So Madi's going to talk about some of the new classes for beginners that's going to be starting up here in October. And of course, their fall or their Tai Chi for arthritis and fall prevention as well. That's going to be coming up. She does that Mondays and Thursdays. So we're going to be talking Tai Chi and talk about the benefits and everything with that with Madi next hour. Do also want to invite folks tomorrow, and I think this is a every Wednesday thing actually. So if you want to mark it as a regular event, love to have you do this. But the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, of course, they put up their flagpole and everything here about a year ago, the big with the brick campaign, and did that. Well, every Wednesday, they gather and pray at the pole at 9 a.m. They call it, they're going to be meeting at the flagpole every Wednesday, 9 a.m. So if you'd like to join them. Their next one will be tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., just for a few minutes. They come out and gather and say a prayer for the community and things, probably a special prayer for the Glass family as they go through the memorial services and everything today for that. So, but yeah, love to invite you out tomorrow at 9 a.m. All right, it is 8 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on one of the biggest threats posed by Hurricane Ian.
We're looking at really, really major storm surge up and down the west coast of Florida.
Ian projected to make landfall tomorrow morning in the Tampa Bay area, possibly roaring ashore as a powerful Category 4 storm.
There's certain things we can protect against in terms of the wind and the structures, and we've got great building codes. But when you have 5 to 10 feet of storm surge, that is not something that you want to be a part of.
That's why DeSantis says it's crucial for people to heed evacuation advisories and orders. Ian could impact interior parts of the state, too. The storm may cross Florida, exiting in the Atlantic.
You could absolutely see power outages. You could see inland flooding. You could see various types of tree and damage from wind. So just be prepared for that.
This may be a storm the likes of which the Tampa Bay area hasn't seen in 100 years. Right now, the Category 3 hurricane is hammering Cuba. Well, the decline in gas prices was short-lived. AAA says pump prices have risen 8 cents a gallon in the past week, now averaging $3.75.
The American Automobile Association says the main reason is higher regional prices on the West Coast and the Midwest due to refinery issues ranging from planned maintenance to a fire. And while gasoline demand has decreased, tight supply and fluctuating oil prices have increased prices. The current national average is about 11 cents less than a month ago, but 56 cents higher than a year ago, and much more than gasoline cost when Donald Trump was in the White House. Ken Lorman reporting.
The Dow looking to exit bear market territory. Right now, the blue chip's up 190 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Charlie Dombeck here from Key City Capital. As a practicing CPA for nearly 30 years, I have found that 80% of your ability to grow your wealth is dependent upon 2 factors: taxes and investment performance. At Key City Capital, we improve investment performance by diversifying capital into off-market investment opportunities in passive rental real estate and alternatives like asset-backed lending. We recover dollars that clients unnecessarily pay in the form of income taxes, creating a lifetime annuity of savings. We are a sponsor of passive, affordable single and multifamily residential rental investments, which are located in Sunbelt landlord-friendly states. These investments are the top choices in a rising interest rate and inflationary environment. They represent a store of value, protecting your capital from market volatility. Learn how we at Key City Capital can help you ultimately grow your wealth rapidly. Connect with me at keycitycapital.com or give me a call at 817-912-1569.
The British pound has found its footing in Asian trading after plunging to a record low.
The stabilization comes as the Bank of England and the British government try to soothe markets nervous about a volatile UK economy. The instability is having real-world impacts, with several British mortgage lenders withdrawing deals amid concern that interest rates may soon rise sharply. The pound was trading at around $1.08 on Tuesday morning. On Monday, it plunged to under $1.04.
Correspondent Jeremy House. 5 days after Russian President Putin announced a partial mobilization to call up hundreds of thousands of men to fight in Ukraine, the move triggering protests across Russia, a fearful exodus of men of fighting age from the country, and acts of violence. A gunman opened fire at an enlistment office in a Siberian city, seriously wounding a military commandant. News and analysis, townhall.com. The CDC making a major change in its COVID policy.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention no longer recommend universal masking in healthcare settings unless the facilities are in areas of high COVID transmission. The update was published late Friday afternoon, a major departure from the agency's previous recommendation for universal masking. Meanwhile, the Canadian government is dropping its mask mandate on planes October 1st. Government officials say they're also dropping the vaccine requirement for people entering the country. That will happen at the end of the month. And they also say they will end random COVID-19 testing at airports. Tasha Stevens reporting.
A NASA spacecraft has rammed an asteroid, a first-of-its-kind test, to see if a potentially menacing space rock could be knocked off course. This occurred with a harmless asteroid some 7 million miles from Earth. Townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
They call it the Deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday.
Yes, welcome to it.
Hope it's going swimmingly well for you. Things are hunky and dory.
Oh, indeed. Sometimes a combination of the two.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully
hunky and or dory.
Yeah. If you have both, you're living large.
I've found, yeah. You take it for granted when you do, though.
That's right.
Really do.
And granted, it's heavy. You don't want to take anything for granted. It's heavy to take.
It's true.
Happy Tuesday. I think I got all the dad jokes out of me.
Welcome to the second day of the rest of your life. There's one.
There's another. That's right.
We keep them all in a database.
We do. Yep. Keep one just, in case you need one.
That's right.
Right. You got to pull out your pocket real quick.
Because you never know.
That's right. You never know when you have an unexpected need for a dad joke. So save it's just sage advice. Keep a few in your back pocket. Just, they're great for breaking up awkward situations.
I got to use one on my kid. And I'm not sure if it's not very often that you get to break out ones that are generational, but this is one that my dad used to always use on me.
Yeah.
And when I finally got to use it on my kid for the first time, I was so excited. She comes up, she goes, "Dad, I'm thirsty." I'm like, "Hi, thirsty. I'm Friday. Come over Saturday. We'll have a Sunday." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Never mind."
It was cool when my parents
Someday
did it.
when you're in your 30s, that's going to be gold.
Yeah. This reminds me of a story I saw on the news yesterday. Of course, International Balloon Fiesta's fast approaching. And so I think it was KOB. They're doing little news pieces on some of the pilots and things.
Okay.
And so they kind of do like a little piece where you learn about a balloon and a pilot and kind of learn about the history of and all that. And one of the more popular balloons in recent years out at the International Balloon Fiesta is the Flying Pig.
Oh, absolutely. That's iconic for the Balloon Fiesta.
Yeah,
I believe it was started. I want to say Northwest Bank. So it was one of the banks. It was originally a piggy bank.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the owner of that balloon and the pilot and all that, and they interviewed this gentleman, and he was kind of talking about the balloon, and he goes, "Well, what was the inspiration for the design and everything?" And he said, that was my dad's favorite saying when we were kids. We were kids, and he'd be like, "Hey, I'm I want to go to the moon. Well, you can go when pigs fly.
Pigs fly.
When pigs.
Like
so
it.
he got into ballooning and everything else, and sure enough, he made a flying pig. And like, Dad, pigs are flying. That's kind of the premise. So when you talked about the saying and everything, I was like, yeah, that's a balloon that kind of started because of something.
The two that always stand out in my head are, as far as like the most iconic, is the Creamland Dairy Cow.
Mm-hmm. That's
because
an iconic
when I
one.
first moved to New Mexico, it was 1995. We went to our first balloon fiesta because the company my dad worked for got free tickets.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big sponsors. So we got to go, and the Creamland Dairy Cow, I always remember that was like the first shapes balloon I ever saw.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's like always the one that stands out. And the other one is Darth Vader. That one didn't come until later.
Yeah, that one's shown up in the last 8-10 years or so. Darth Vader and Yoda is now in there. So that those two usually, the Kissing Bears have always been a iconic balloon that shows up. The Wells Fargo wagon is always one. The Dairyland cow, like you had mentioned. Some of those special shape ones, but the Pigs Fly one's been there for about 8-10 years or so too, and it's that pink balloon. That's just it's not a whole pig. It's like the face with the wings.
That one might be different.
Yeah,
that one might be different.
This one's got the little wings on the side.
The one I'm thinking of, there was
pig
this was years ago. They had a pink and I think a green one also.
Okay,
a pig balloon, and they were piggy banks.
Yeah, this was more like a face. It's the round balloon shape with the piggy face, and then he's got wings like on the side, like little cartoony wings. And
have you ever been to the Balloon Fiesta?
I have.
Like actually to the park? Or,
yes.
So there's two ways to experience Balloon Fiesta, and I'm not sure which one I prefer because they both have their benefits. There's going to Balloon Fiesta, which is waking up at 3 a.m, and getting in line for an hour and a half to be on the grounds. Now that's unique because you get to meet the balloonists. You get to be right there on site when they're inflating the balloons. So you're there. Plus getting the pins, all the great food.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. The way we used to experience it, because my family was cheap, we'd wake up real early on one of the mornings, the weekends of Balloon Fiesta, and we lived in Albuquerque, and we would go and get burritos, and we would just drive to a place in Albuquerque and just watch the Mass Ascension.
Yeah.
And I think that's fun in its own right, but that also gets to a point where you're like, okay, can we go home now?
Well,
I'm done.
Well, here's the cool part, and I'll wrap this up. But so yeah, I've done that. I've done twice going out to the park. Me and my brother and some family went out there years ago, and we drove to Albuquerque, got there, dark 30, parked and walked in. And then about 3 or 4 years ago, when I had my sisters in town and everything, we did the same thing. But that time, we got a bus ticket, and we had to go park at the mall, and then
the park and ride.
Yeah. Right. Which that year we did it, they weren't doing it right. They had messed up the logistics, and people were not getting tickets. They oversold tickets for the bus, and it was kind of a nightmare. And I hope they've gotten that fixed, because I'm not going to lie, that experience really discouraged me from wanting to go back, because it was just, I was like, this is too chaotic.
Right.
You know, it's 4 a.m. I don't want to be this angry at people.
Yeah. Now that's the thing, is no matter what, you're going to be angry.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter. And this is something I figured out, because I've always been an early bird.
Yeah.
But even for me, waking up to go to Balloon Fiesta, when we lived in Albuquerque, it was like 3 a.m. we had to get up to leave. I'm like, this is stupid. And even at 3 a.m. when we left, got there like 20 minutes after, there's still like an hour-long line.
Yeah.
I have no idea what time the people get there to get in line who are first or second. Did they get there like right after the fiesta wraps up the year before?
I think so.
They're just hanging out.
But once you get in the park, and then when you're in there and you're walking amongst the balloons, you kind of forget all that. But yeah, getting in. So
it washes away until you have to leave, and then you have to go through the whole process again.
So now I get to experience my in-laws. They moved back to Albuquerque. They since they've retired, they were in Ruidoso for many years, and that was they moved about 30 times in Ruidoso, but they were in Ruidoso. And then once my father-in-law kind of retired and sold the business and everything, they moved to Tucson area. And then here over the last year, they've moved back to Albuquerque to be closer to grandkids and everything. So now they have a nice house in Albuquerque, but where they live, you can literally sit in their backyard and just watch all the.
See, that's how it's done.
So I think now I get to experience it that way, where next time I go, I'm just going to wake up put on some sweatpants, sit in the backyard
the proper way
with a breakfast
burrito
something,
in
and watch.
one hand, not for you, coffee, but
not for me. I'll drink a
soda in the other,
Coke Zero,
and just sit there and watch the master session. That really is, because once you've experienced the kind of the on the ground thing, once it's pretty much the same. You could then just experience the balloons.
I mean, it's cool to walk around and eat all the cool foods and all that, but
my kids are.
I don't need to get up at 4 a.m.
Which I'm really excited about.
Nice.
Carl's got some tickets, so her and the boyfriend and the kids are going up next week, and
they'll love it.
I can't wait.
They'll love it.
Yeah, just told them take a lot of pictures, let them get as close to the balloons as possible, and then tell them to fire it off.
There you go. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a ride. You never know. Cute kids might get in.
I feel like Hunter would be game.
Yeah.
I don't know about Rhiannon.
Rhiannon probably not. So, all right. It is 8:15. Mari's been patiently waiting and telling Sean how to fix his back problems, because he should probably listen. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure east of the mountains, and that'll keep things dry for our area for the next few days. Daytime highs will be a little bit more comfortable, but still pretty warm. We're looking for upper 80s today and a lot of sunshine. Overnight will be clear. We'll cool off to the mid-50s, and then we're in the upper 80s with a sunny day coming up on Wednesday and again Thursday. Fair Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 63 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 62%. Winds are calm at the moment. If you like just nice, uneventful weather, I think this is this week. This is pretty much what we got. It's settling into a little nice groove this week. Sunny, 88 for a high today. South winds 5 to 10. Nothing to write home about there. Mostly clear tonight. Overnight low 58. I like that we're dropping into the 50s now. That makes me happy. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, more of the same. Sunny, high of 88. Winds will be out of the west 5 to 10 in the morning. They're going to shift to the south and pick up 10 to 15 for the afternoon, but still nothing major there. Clear tomorrow night with an overnight low of 56. South winds 5 to 10. Thursday, sunny, 86 for a high. Winds out of the south 10 to 15. Friday, sunny, high of 86, and then your weekend, more of the same. Sunny and 88 Saturday, sunny and 87 on Sunday, and looks like Monday when you head back to work and school, more of the same, 88 there. So we're kind of settled into a groove for at least a week or so here. All right, it is 8:17. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then Madi's going to join us talking Tai Chi for health and Tai Chi for arthritis and helping all kinds of stuff and Sean's back problems. So we'll be back. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
I'm Mitch Krakowskis, Vice President of Strata Production Company, a local oil and gas business in Roswell. We must have representatives like Greg Nibert who know the economic drivers of this community and New Mexico. Greg has pushed back on efforts by liberal Democrats who are against oil and gas. With over 39 years' experience, Greg Nibert knows the jobs local oil and gas companies create, the opportunities we provide, and the prosperity we bring to our communities. Oil and gas accounts for over 40% of the state budget and has allowed our state to provide raises to educators and state police, and the rebate checks you received. Please vote for Greg Nibert for State Representative, District 59, to keep a strong conservative voice in our legislature.
I'm Greg Nibert, and I ask you to please vote for me for House District 59. Voting begins on October 11th, and Election Day is November 8th.
Paid for by Greg Nibert for State Representative. Richard Taylor, Treasurer.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed, antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
The numbers don't lie. Crime is up in southeastern New Mexico. In 2021, Roswell had almost 40 crimes per 1,000, including larceny, assault battery, burglary, motor vehicle theft, robbery, and homicide. These days, the best defense you can get is having a locally owned company install the best security system available. That's Zenith Security Services. They offer real security solutions for your home and business. When it comes to your safety, you need a locally owned, locally minded security company at your defense. Call Zenith Security Services today, 575-626-3521, 575-626-3521.
Pecos Valley Equipment, your John Deere dealer for Roswell and Artesia, congratulates the Eastern New Mexico State Fair on 100 years. Come out to all the shows, enjoy all the entertainment, the music, the food, and the rides as the Eastern New Mexico State Fair celebrates 100 years, October 3rd through the 8th. And Pecos Valley Equipment invites you to tune in to KSVPTV.com for all the junior livestock events. Come celebrate 100 years with the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Pecos Valley Equipment, your Roswell and Artesia John Deere dealer, a proud sponsor of the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. The Goddard Rockets are soaring through the season, and coming up this Friday night, your Rockets are back on the road, taking on the Eagles of Belen High. Fiera 106.1 FM and KSVPTV.com will have every second of the action. Join Chris Deck and Chris Roybal for the pregame show at 6:45 and kickoff at 7. Rockets versus the Eagles of Belen High. Friday beginning at 6:45 on Fiera 106.1 FM and online at KSVPTV.com. Southeastern New Mexico's sports authority, then, now, and always.
Mulan has the highest kill count of any Disney character. When asked for comment, Buzz Lightyear responded, "To infinity and beyond." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 8 o'clock. And back is, I was thinking like a year, but I guess it's been at least 3 years since
yes.
Madi's been joining us
here.
here.
We were just talking about
that. Madi's Hall Micheko with the Tai Chi for Health Institute is joining us here this morning. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm great. Happy to be here.
I'm glad to have you back. And for folks who don't remember, last time Madi was joining us, it was pre-COVID, so it was a different world then. But fortunately, now that we're kind of in the rearview mirror of COVID for the most part here, you're back doing your Tai Chi for Health classes again. For folks that dealing with joint arthritis, those issues that are just synonymous with your birthdays, this is where Madi's like, you know what, I can help you navigate through that kind of stuff and make it so that you can feel a little more like your younger self as opposed to feeling like the self you're aging into.
Right. Yeah. So that's mainly what this particular program is encouraged by the Department of Health and the Arthritis Foundation and the Center for Disease Control, as well as Harvard Medical School and around the world.
Yeah,
actually, we're in 32 or 33 countries. It's mainly that.
Yeah, there's so much science behind this stuff, and that's and it makes sense when you, because I think most people, they think Tai Chi and they're going to lump it in with karate and
Kung Fu
and Taekwondo and all the martial arts, which Tai Chi's not that style of martial art per se. What you're teaching, what you're doing is more about becoming mind and body on the same page, so you work in concert.
That's so great, Mike.
That's what it's about. It's not about self-defense or some of the things that karate or kung fu focus on. This is all about, your mind and your body just doing nothing but working on itself at that moment, and not worrying about what the kids are doing, not worrying about what the grandkids are doing, not worrying about what the job's wanting you to do. Just taking that time and focusing on you and your body and making sure that it's all in concert. And you're going to find out, once you kind of align those things, you're going to find the rest of your life starts kind of doing the same thing. It's just that there's enough science there now to kind of show that, look, this kind of stuff goes with that. It's all, we all want to do things for our health, and they think it's some magic pill or some magic plan that's going to take you down this path to overnight success. And unfortunately, that's not a thing of reality here. But the closest thing we got, I think, is Tai Chi. You know what I mean? That's at the end of the day. And guess what? You don't need a doctor's prescription for Tai Chi. You don't need to wait till the pharmacy opens to get Tai Chi.
Right.
You can do it whenever you feel like
Yeah,
doing
sure. You can do it in the car. You can do it while you're traveling or you're flying. Or
Yeah.
Really, you can do Tai Chi anywhere.
And
so, yeah.
and I'm not saying medical science and medicines aren't important. Yes, when your doctors tell you do all these things, do all these things.
Mm-hmm.
But we do live in a world that we want to solve a problem with a pill is first option, and maybe we don't need to sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Tai Chi kind of gives that option to people.
Huh.
Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Sure. You're just. I'm going to hire you. You'll be my.
She's like, I don't need to be here. I'm just kind of. I just want to get. Because I think our job in this show and everything is to kind of get people to understand
exactly
why these things are cool. And so I just think in my head, it's like, because let's face it, someone said, hey, let's come over here and start doing this. And you go, I feel stupid. What am I doing here? But when okay, now I get it. Then you're like, all right.
Well, it helps in so many different levels. And in terms, I just want to mention, Tai Chi is about 1,000 years old.
Yes.
This style that I'm teaching is only about 100 years old.
Okay.
Dr. Soon created this style, and it was.
So all the young kids in Tai Chi are doing this.
Oh, right. Exactly. But it was formulated specifically to increase internal health. And so it's great for rehabilitation. It's the classes are open to people that are seated if they're recovering from knee injuries or whatever.
Gotcha.
And you can get quite strong core-wise. I just love teaching both seated and standing. But Tai Chi is what Kung Fu soldiers, and they were the elite soldiers of the ancient times.
Okay.
Right? They would practice about 2 hours of Tai Chi every day before they even started their Kung Fu practice.
Their other martial arts trainings.
Right.
Okay.
And everything that you see in Tai Chi, you can relate to the fast movement of Kung Fu, but we're building internal energy.
Sure. It's kind of like their version of stretching before doing their physical activity a little bit.
Say that.
Well, you know what I mean? It's like, because they always say, like, hey, before you exercise, you stretch and you warm up and everything. For them, Tai Chi was almost that for them. They were warming it up before they go into the fighting part of their martial
and
arts.
I also think there was a whole lot of the mental aspect to it.
Sure, centering, focusing, and just getting your mind in the right space to do that.
So there's different aspects of how you can look at Tai Chi and what it does for you. And if you just look at just purely the physical, structural aspect of Tai Chi.
Gotcha.
The very slow incremental movement is different than anything that we do. And so when we're moving very slowly in an exercise, we're not using just the gross muscle or the major muscle groups. All these little teeny muscles and tendons that are around joints, especially, that usually get ignored when you're doing your sit-ups or your bicycling or whatever, which is wonderful.
Sure.
Those little teeny tendons and tissues get nourished.
Gotcha.
And so nourishment to the joint is wonderful.
So is it, to draw a comparison, is it kind of like you're sitting on a street, and if you drive by in a car on that street, you're going to see some things. But if you walk by, you're going to see a lot more. Is it the same kind of logic?
Great analogy.
Yeah, okay.
Great analogy.
All right. Yeah, I like putting things in ways that people can relate to.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So in that sense, that's why everybody's recommending for joint strength and joint healing too. The Veterans Administration is now recommending and actually instructing or paying instructors, Tai Chi instructors also, because there's the mental emotional aspect of Tai Chi. And there's a different principles of Tai Chi. One is called Jing, Jing, which means serenity.
Okay.
So when we're paying attention to posture and breathing, which are also very important.
Absolutely.
We also focus on the Jing aspect, and we learn some tools that we can take anywhere, into the grocery store or into the bank when you're waiting around.
Sure.
There are different tools that we learn in class to help balance blood pressure, for instance, if you have high blood pressure, low blood pressure, to help with anxiety, which is, of course, why the VA is recommending it.
Sure.
And who couldn't use a little serenity now?
Absolutely.
So that's the mental emotional aspect
of
this too.
And this is what I love about it, because, one of the biggest growing crises in America is the mental health side. I think people And from the science perspective, I think we're behind the 8 ball compared to other areas of medical science. And obviously with the crises and things that are going on in the world, people are just a little more edgy, their mental health is declining. And so anytime we can find ways to help people with the mental health side, that's a huge game changer. And Tai Chi covers all bases. It's kind of, you think about it, which makes sense. You know, you buy a car, and if you have your car and you're like, well, man, the tires are really good and this, but the battery's just not right. You have a great car, you're not going to keep replacing the tires when it's the battery that's the problem. And in some of these, in cases like this, sure, with Tai Chi, you could sit there and work out and pump iron and do all that and feel better. But if you're not dealing with the brain and that side, are you really getting all the health benefits that you could? And I think that's where Tai Chi covers all bases, where it's not only getting you ready physically, but you're also mentally navigating life better because, through your breathing, through your stretching, you're actually taking time to allow your brain to focus, to do the healthy things it needs to kind of wrap life's obstacles around, so it can wrap its head around it a little bit. And let's face it, when your mindset's better, you're more likely to handle a problem better. And because we live in a world now where everyone's stressed out, frazzled and things like that, it's so easy to fly off the handle at the grocery store because someone cut you off in line or they didn't have the product you want, and then you end up on a YouTube video on social media. We live in a world where that's more commonplace. And I really think the Tai Chi side could really, if people embrace it and try it, I think they're going to find that, you don't only feel better physically, but you're going to find out the rest of your life starting to kind of make sense a little bit, or at least something that you can navigate and handle. And that's where I think Tai Chi is so much better because it's checking all the boxes. It's not checking some of the boxes. And I think in this kind of world, we need to try to check as many boxes as we could possibly can.
That's exactly right. And I did not teach. I did do some teaching during COVID, short pieces here and actually in South Carolina. But I never stopped for myself. And honestly, I feel like if I had not been having my own Tai Chi practice,
you might need some mentorship yourself.
Mentally, physically, emotionally. Oh my goodness, it would have been a different life for me. So,
And here's the great thing where you and the Tai Chi Institute come in and you were talking about why the VA and why all these different science and medical entities are backing it, because that's the science is showing what people have been saying for thousands of years. Now they're finally got data and numbers and tangible things that people can compare and contrast to say, yes, people that do Tai Chi are going to be healthier than people that don't, and here's why. And this is what they're showing, and the evidence is overwhelmingly for Tai Chi. So, and here's the beauty of it, and this is where Marty can show you, and you come out to the first class this month here, or in a, it's technically still September, so next month here. But it doesn't matter if you've never taken a physical fitness class in your life, or if you consider yourself to be in peak shape. This class will benefit you, and because it's really probably going to make you rethink physical fitness and how it's done. Because let's face it, overall mindset and physical fitness is a guy in a gym pumping iron and trying to push the limits, push that envelope. And Tai Chi's not. No, we're not.
Less is more.
Yeah,
more is not better. Less is more.
It's not. It's not how much weight you move. It's how you move the weight. And that's really the difference. It's taking the importance of that physicality and fine tuning it to be more beneficial to you. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's not meant to replace the weightlifting that you're doing, right?
Yeah.
It is. It's about adding a different dimension and helping more with, even when I have good structure now, I have more blood flow to my brain.
Sure.
And there are a lot of people that have like right-left issues in terms of turning right but it helps with brain cross functioning. if that makes any sense
Sure.
to some people, they may relate to that. But yeah.
I'm kind of curious, and this one hits a little close to home for me because my wife recently had a medical emergency with a brain clot in her brain and things like that. And thank God we're good and out of the woods here. But for folks that are suffering those kinds of injuries and things, I imagine Tai Chi also helps a lot of benefits there because, like with her, she had to relearn some paths. Like when you go to sign your name, she had to really think about it because the pathways that the nurse took to tell her to do that got scrambled there, and she's gone. Right. So I think things like Tai Chi might help with those kind of
with brain injury, with stroke, that type of thing also, because you're starting to make new connections again, or those same old patterns. Actually, our habits create grooves in the brain because it's a firing, that same habit. And when we start trying to include a hand and a foot moving a little differently, it's so amazing how your brain will go, but you do create those new openings in the brain, and then the signals from the brain to the body. And you're improving blood flow.
So I'm thinking, this is what you're saying. Regardless of your condition.
Oh, sure.
It doesn't matter if you can, if you're even stuck to a wheelchair or Tai Chi can still help you. And obviously, the regime might change a little bit for you because of your limitations, but there is a program. There is
absolutely.
There is a pathway to getting you healthier, and who knows. Depending on why you're in the wheelchair, you may be able to get out of it someday. I'm not saying if you're a paraplegic or something, but if it's due to just overall bad joint health and things like that, you might get to a point where you're back to out of a wheelchair and walking and standing and be able to maybe take a walk around the block or something at some point. That's the possibilities here if you commit to it and kind of just I guess surrender to the program a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
That's kind of and this is why I love this program so much, because it deals with all facets. It deals, and this is where Tai Chi can really help people. It's not like, we have a favorite food, whatever it is, pizza or corn or whatever it is, but you're not going to want to eat it every day because you're going to get tired of it after a while. And Tai Chi solves that problem for people where you're like, I don't want to go to the gym. It's arm day or leg day. And you get into these routines, which can then turn into a rut, where Tai Chi, you almost can customize the plan to how you're feeling that day. You're like, I'm feeling run down. Maybe I should focus more this way. Or, you know what, I'm a little sore. I need to focus this way. So you can kind of, depending on your mood that day, you can kind of make it see to what you're trying to achieve.
And there's different levels of the Tai Chi, and I could be doing the same basic 12 forms that I learn in this class, and I can work with maybe getting a little deeper into my posture. I can work with focusing, doing all the form, but focusing on heel to toe and really accessing the ground. I could focus on bubbling springs, which is a way that we focus on bringing energy up through our feet into our other part of our leg and going down the other leg, or song, which is another form of lengthening and actually intentionally opening joints more. And there's, we can do it for the rest of our lives and still be learning.
Let me ask this, because I know there's probably a lot of people that would be look at Tai Chi in this way and the fountain of youth side from it. There's a lot of people spend a lot of money on products and things to try to recapture youth.
Are you saying I'm looking great, Mike? Is this 3 years ago?
You
I'm
are
younger?
looking amazing. Yeah, you look, but I think Tai Chi can help in a natural way of doing. I would say maybe necessarily, but reversing some aging stuff.
Sure, because we have, there's no claims, but what happens is that we start oxygenating more, and we know oxygen is really important, because how many of us hold our breath when we're working on something, or
it's like you're focusing and you shut down everything else to focus on that.
And we have Downtown breathing, which is actually focusing on and strengthening the core while you're doing the breath, and the back muscles. Sean, the back muscles are opening and strengthening, and we're strengthening glutes. And so there's the oxygenation factor, but also this is based on Chinese medicine. And in Chinese medicine, we have meridians that move through the body, which is what acupuncturists work with.
Okay.
But when I'm doing like a wave hands and clouds, I'm bringing these really important points that are for heart and liver and lung. I'm opening them.
Okay.
Because especially, I've had injury in my life. I've had a lot of injuries, so it's not like I speak from not having declined physical abilities, because I certainly have had that.
Well, you're a human being, and life happens.
We've lived
and
life.
we all
You got to live a life. You got to live a life, right? That's the fun of life. You got to live it. But I know my own hand is opening more, and these meridians that work with not only tissue, upper body strengthening and opening, but I'm also giving my heart a little massage, or I'm clearing my lungs out a little more. So there's different levels of health.
And it's kind of rudimentary. It's like, hey, you go out after dinner or in the morning and you go on your walk or whatever, and you kind of like feel a little more fresh, that's the same thing you're doing in Tai Chi. It's just a little bit more structured, I guess you could say.
Right.
It's the same concept. It's the same. You're looking for the same result. It's just you're getting more bang for your buck through Tai Chi, and you're kind of focusing exactly on what you're trying to do, where a walk is more of a social thing or something, which is still beneficial and great.
There's like meditative walkings and I just love it. It's like a moving meditation. But what I call a Tai Chi is a meditative martial art. So walking is grand. Love it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody here has ever taken a fall because they were not paying attention.
I think every one of us have taken a fall.
Well, it's not, and falls don't necessarily happen because, I'm weak.
Yeah.
Although that can happen, but most of the population, which is actually creating a huge drain on our medical system, is the repercussions of falls. The older we get.
Sure.
And so there's a mindfulness about how we actually transfer weight and an awareness of the surroundings that starts happening more through Tai Chi. So there is that fall prevention factor.
Sure.
That's why Department of Health loves this program. It's one of their 2 flagship fall prevention programs. But it's for everybody. You can be a 28-year-old and benefit from this class.
Matter of fact, why wait till you get old to start it?
Exactly.
If you're doing it while you're
There's
younger.
Tai Chi for children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, because by the time you get in your 60s and you've been doing it since your 20s, you're probably not going to feel like you're in your 60s because you've been doing it. You'll be like, I feel like I'm in my 30s or 40s,
Yeah.
And so, if you're younger and got the advantage of youth in front of you, take advantage of that and do it here. But if you're learning about it a little longer in the tooth, it's come on board. It's still going to be a great ride. It's going to be. And I think at the end of the day, I think the real crux of why Tai Chi works over other things and other options is it because it forces you to pay attention. It forces you to do nothing but and I think, sure, some people are good at multitasking, some aren't and things, but I think overall humanity works best when we're in our zone and focusing on that and avoiding the distractions. I think our greatest accomplishments, our greatest achievements happen in those types of mindsets and things.
Yes.
And I think Tai Chi does a better job at getting you there than any other form of physical fitness out there, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I think it's the one that kind of addresses the one side of physical fitness that has the problem, is getting over the mental hump, getting over that, I got to commit to it and go do it. I think Tai Chi helps navigate that side of it, the mental side of physical. Because, if we were all emotionless, and it'd be easy to get up in the morning, it's all right, it's because it's 10 a.m., time for workout, but that's not how humans work,
Right.
And so I think Tai Chi adds the human factor in. And I think that's why I feel like if you commit to it, so many people have success, because it's literally giving you a lifestyle change, a change of, like you're talking about falls and everything. You're creating the muscle memory. So when you are just walking to the store, those Tai Chi techniques and things, your brain's just automatically, so you're going to find you're starting to walk that way because you're kind of training your brain to do that. You know what I mean? And that's and that's where Tai Chi is amazing, because all of a sudden you just trained yourself and didn't realize you did it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, dang. It's kind of like military people. You've been in the military. Even after 10 years out of the military, there's still habits and things you do.
Sure.
I always joke about this. I rarely walk around with stuff in my right hand because you got to keep it free to salute. So even I haven't been in the military in almost 30 years. But to this day, if I catch something, I'm like, oh, let me move it over, just absent-mindedly. And I think that's how Tai Chi works, the same way, you know.
Right.
And so, so come out to take the Tai Chi for beginners class or the arthritis and joint movement, fall prevention classes. Make October your time to maybe see what this is all about.
Fall time.
Yeah, and make that commitment. So. And the beauty of it is you offer a lot of classes that are very affordable, and you offer it at times that work around people's schedules.
Right.
So
what I'm offering in October and November, I have 4 classes a week, and one of the class programs is called All Level Tai Chi. That includes beginning people.
So regardless of if you've done it for years or this is the first time you've walked in, this class will benefit you.
It will benefit you.
Good.
And we meet every Tuesdays. All classes meet Mondays and Thursdays.
Okay.
And the all level Tai Chi is from 4 to 5 p.m. Mondays and Thursdays.
Okay.
And the beginning Tai Chi is also Mondays and Thursdays, but it starts at 2:30.
Okay.
So they're 2:30 to 3:30 for the beginning Tai Chi, Monday, Thursday. And the all-level Tai Chi, which is also Monday, Thursday, from 4 to 5.
Okay.
And so if you have a doctor's appointment and you miss one class, you can drop into the other class.
Okay.
If you need to swap up classes to make up for something that you might have missed, that's fine. You can drop in per class, but it's more economical to pay for the month.
Sure.
So we have 7 classes that are happening in October. And actually, November, we have a holiday, and I have an anniversary. So,
congratulations.
Thank you. We have 7 classes. And so for the month of October, it's $56 for the whole month.
Which is pretty cheap for an exercise class, by the way. If you ever priced some of these.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, I want people to come.
And here's the thing. You pay all that money, and then about 2 weeks in, you're like, I'm tired of going.
I just paid my $300 yearly fee here. Yeah. Oh, no.
This one, you're going to want to come back and want to do it. And the great part about it is like, oh, I got a busy night. I'm going to have to take the later class.
Right.
Well, guess what? You probably just met some new people that are into this because now, so now you got a bigger fan base or friend base because you're taking 2 classes and you're meeting new people in each
somebody that may really want to be practicing between classes and can't quite remember everything. So do you want to get together in the park and go play
do a little extra practice here. Yeah.
We call it playing Tai Chi.
Yeah.
Is what we call it.
I like it. Well, if you make it fun and treat it as fun.
Yeah.
Turns out it's fun.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly. It is fun. That's what I love. So I'm going to give you a couple pieces of information. So get your pen and pencil ready.
Very good. And if anybody misses this, don't hesitate to call us. We'll be happy to share it and get that information to you.
Yeah.
If you're driving or something like that.
Okay. So I'm board certified by the Tai Chi for Health Institute, which is an international organization. And I'm going to give you the website because it is amazing, the information on there, lots and lots of free stuff, and you just find out more about who we are, what we're about.
Read it for yourself, the black and white on the evidence we're talking about and everything.
Some people dig that website stuff, so let me give you the address. It is www.taichiforhealthinstitute.org. So I'll spell that TaichiForHealthinstitute.org, just as it sounds. You can email me at healthfirst@yahoo.com.
And that's a 1ST.
It is, HEALTH 1ST at yahoo.com. My phone number is 575-626-7150. And we start our new series this coming Monday. Class size is limited, but we do have some more room in both classes.
Space. Okay.
Yeah, so give me a call so I can answer any questions you may have. Please don't stay away if you are seated. Please don't
that's
stay
not
away.
a problem.
No,
We'll-
not at all. Not
we
at
can
all.
work the program
Not
for
at
you
all.
too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We can help anybody showing up.
And that's the point. The physical limitations are you. What you want to do and what you do. It doesn't matter if you're paraplegic or quadriplegic,
or in the last triathlon, and you need some serenity, focus, or help with your joints.
Absolutely, there's benefits for you
Yeah.
that can help you, and you might find out you're going to see improvements in your other afflictions just by coming to these classes and participating and really. Getting in, and that's and you're also meeting new people and creating that support system, which is so important.
Yeah.
When you're trying to reach a goal, and it's always great to encourage other people to be a part of that with you,
right?
Because then you can hold each other accountable and help each other out when you're struggling and things like that.
I'm always better with a buddy when it comes to doing exercise. I like a buddy system.
Well, and that's just it. How many times are you paid the $300 for your class and you did it by yourself, but there's no it's
no one to complain to,
or no to get up. It's like, I don't feel like getting up. I'm just gonna sleep in today. But they got that phone call. You ready? Let's go. And that does help, know.
Right.
And so please find a friend, come do a family member, and if you don't have one that wants to do it with you, fine, come on down. We'll make some new ones. How about that?
Sure.
But please reach out, look out, go to the Tai Chi for Health Institute website.
Right.
Do your reading, watch the videos and read the stories and do all the stuff. And while you're at it, go to the CDC and the New Mexico Department of Health and see what they have to say about Tai Chi and their issues on it.
Right.
And you're going to find a lot of the same information on.
Right. There are also other websites, Paths for Health.
Okay.
.org. That's a New Mexico Department of Health website for all health possibilities in New Mexico, and we're on there. And the United States Tai Chi Community.org, USTCC.org. So start looking up Tai Chi for arthritis or Tai Chi for health, and you'll see a whole bunch of information.
Can I, well, we're about out of time, but just a quick question. Obviously you're teaching for strength and things, but does Tai Chi to get to the more martial arts side? Is this a stepping stone if someone's wanting to go?
Oh, it's a great beginning Tai Chi class. Okay. Yes.
But
to take future.
I didn't know if Tai Chi does get into the self-defense side at some point, or is it strictly?
When you see someone doing the 42 forms, you will see the martial art basis of it. There's no doubt about it.
I was wondering, like, if you're starting here, does that take you there? Is that
if you want to go there?
Gotcha. Okay. I was just curious if this was a good way to start.
Sometimes I'll mention it's like this hand is by the elbow because if we were fighting, we would be protecting the elbow. You don't expose the elbow.
Got you.
Yeah. So
makes sense.
That gets put in there.
So it kind of translates.
Yeah.
Like you're like, okay, see these moves. Well, for the self-defense side, you're going to almost. And I'm. It's just a good comparison. It's not. It's almost like in the Karate Kid where he's sanding the floor
on, wax
and
off.
teaching.
I bring it up.
Yeah,
it's like this is the wax on, wax off portion.
He's having you do that to get your muscles trained into the motion, into the rhythm, and all that.
Right.
So interesting. Give out your phone number one more time for folks.
For me, Madi, 575-626-7150.
And if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Marty will be happy to answer to you. For you, and come on out. Come out Monday to first class here, and come. Who knows? I think this could be the first step to a pretty amazing experience and
thank you,
life-changing thing.
Yeah,
so
thank you very much.
As always, appreciate. We'll see you again soon. Hopefully before 3 years, like last time.
No kidding. Yes, that's for sure. That's for sure.
And help Sean out, please.
Yeah.
It is 8:52. Let's pause for news. Quick break. We'll be back. Don't go away.
And now for your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. We begin with a traffic alert for you as work begins on Avenue D in Lovington. New Mexico 83 in Lovington will be closed entirely through the month of December. Businesses will need to utilize their secondary entrances for business and employment. During the road closure, they will be installing the storm drain and manholes, which have a depth of up to 10 feet. The road closure is to protect the pedestrian traffic, driving motorists, and the construction crews during the day and night. The Eastern New Mexico State Fair is coming soon to Roswell. This year, the fair is celebrating its centennial year. It started in 1922 as the Cotton Carnival. The purpose of the fair was to exhibit the agriculture of the Pecos Valley, especially cotton production. The fair runs this year October 3rd through 8th, with Monday's parade kicking off everything at 11 a.m. For more details and a complete schedule, go online to enmsf.com. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure east of the mountains, and that'll keep things dry for our area for the next few days. Daytime highs will be a little bit more comfortable, but still pretty warm. We're looking for upper 80s today and a lot of sunshine. Overnight will be clear. We'll cool off to the mid-50s, and then we're in the upper 80s with a sunny day coming up on Wednesday and again Thursday, fair Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. President Biden wants consumers to see a more complete price on airline tickets, including baggage and change fees, before they buy, as the White House continues to search for ways to lower costs for Americans amid persistently high inflation. The White House says the proposed rule from the Transportation Department will prevent airlines from hiding the true cost of airline tickets. Top U.S. insurance companies and associations say California is risking a crisis in the nation's largest automobile insurance market by refusing to approve any rate increases for more than 2 years. The companies already are cutting back and say they can't continue operating at a loss. And the head of the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde, said Monday that the economic outlook is darkening, and she expects business activity to slow substantially in the coming months as high energy and food prices, pushed up by the war in Ukraine, sap consumer spending power. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here, and I can tell you it's not always easy being a female in a male-dominated business like roofing. I remember one time I was at a meeting to bid on the roof for a local college, and it was me and 13 men. Well, I won that bid, and I'd like to win your business too. My dad was a contractor, and I've been around building and roofing my whole life. I'm licensed and bonded, and I've forgotten more about roofing than most roofers ever knew in the first place. But what really sets Trustmark apart is an obsessive attention to detail that ensures that everything goes smoothly the first time. I promise we will treat you right with respect, and we will make you happy. So yeah, it might be a bit odd for a woman to own a roofing company, but give us a try. Let us give you an estimate for your roof. I think you'll be glad you called. For all your roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
There's at least one thing most New Mexicans agree on. Our schools have a long way to go. That's why Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham is breathing new life into public education with initiatives that support our children from their first baby steps to promising career paths. Like expanding in-home family services, early childhood and pre-K, so thousands more kids will go off to school healthy and ready to learn. And attracting new teachers by raising salaries to the highest in the Southwest. It's already paying off by recruiting hundreds of new teachers to our classrooms this year. And she is cutting teacher paperwork and administrative burdens by 41%, so they have more time to teach our children. Thanks to the governor's new Opportunity Scholarships, any New Mexican can now attend a state college for free to earn a certificate or degree in a wide range of high-demand fields. After 2 tough years, we're finally making progress in education. We can't afford to go back to the failed policies of the past.
Paid for by New Mexicans for Michelle.
Approved by Michelle Lujan Grisham.
If you need a Kubota that works and plays hard, stop looking. You'll find everything you need at Amigo Machinery. When it comes to tough Kubota tractors, mowers, construction equipment, and utility vehicles, all with low-rate financing, Amigo Machinery is your one-stop shop. We are passionately committed to providing our customers with the highest quality products, most innovative solutions, and services delivered with integrity and professionalism. Stop by Amigo Machinery in Roswell or see us online at amigo-machinery.com.
Your fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand. Not sure which is your dominant hand? Just wait. You'll nail it. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:58. Stay tuned next hour. We're going to talk Eastern New Mexico State Fair. We're going to have some of the fair folks join us as we gear up. It's pre-fair week, and the pre-party of the Eastern New Mexico State Fair will start this Friday and Saturday with the carnival and some livestock shows on Saturday. Sunday, everything's going to button up as they get ready for the official start of the fair on Monday, with the parade Monday morning, and then of course the parade grounds, fairgrounds, and everything open it up from there. So we're going to talk fair, if that's fair, next hour. And of course, if you missed any part of our show, we just had Madi talking with the Tai Chi for Health. Had a great conversation with her. If you missed any part of that, you can go back after the show and check it out. KSVPTV.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winter's channel. You can, if you go to live feed now and rewind it, you can watch it now. But after the show, Tanner will separate it and make it its own entry there up on the website. And then, of course, our YouTube channel. You can find all of our videos there. Just look for Roswell's Talk FM on YouTube and Facebook as well. Roswell's Talk FM on Facebook. You'll find all of our videos and things there to check out whenever you get a chance. So we are closing in on 9 o'clock. Town Hall News coming up next. And like I said, we're going to talk Eastern New Mexico State Fair next hour. And also do want to mention, I had mentioned this back at last hour, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., the Historical Society is having their prayer event right there at the flagpole. They love to invite the public. It's just a few minutes, come out and pray. It's kind of a Wednesday tradition now. I know tomorrow they're going to probably send a few prayers to the Mary Lou Glass's family and things like that. But if you'd like to join them for prayer, 9 a.m. every Wednesday.
This hour from townhall.com. Catastrophic. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says it's not too strong a word to use when describing the potential impact of Hurricane Ian in some areas.
What we have here is really historic storm surge and flooding potential.
Ian forecast to make landfall tomorrow morning along Florida's west coast in the Tampa Bay area.
There's evacuation orders that are in place on all these counties from Pasco and Pinellas down to the Fort Myers area. And our recommendation is to heed those evacuation orders.
And DeSantis says you don't have to go very far.
You do not need to evacuate to another state. You don't need to go hundreds of miles away. There's shelters that are open in all of these counties at this point.
Ian may be a powerful Category 4 storm by the time it comes ashore in Florida. Salem Media Tampa News Director Roger Schulman says the state's battening down the hatches.
They've already activated 2,500 members of the National Guard. The sheriff's offices and police departments are putting their people on continuous shifts. A lot of them are going to be sleeping at their offices rather than at home.
Forecasters say there is a chance that instead of hugging the coast, Ian may cut across the state and exit into the Atlantic, that raising the possibility of storm damage well inland from the coast. Today, the final day of voting in Russian-occupied areas of Ukraine, people voting on whether to join Russia. Meanwhile, Vladimir Putin is preparing to deliver a speech.
In a daily intelligence briefing, the British Defence Ministry says Putin will address both houses of the Russian parliament on Friday and could declare the annexation of the regions. The internationally criticised vote is ending Tuesday.
That's correspondent Charles de Ledesma. Wall Street, the Dow up 267 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Charlie Dombeck here from Key City Capital. As a practicing CPA for nearly 30 years, I have found that 80% of your ability to grow your wealth is dependent upon two factors: taxes and investment performance. At Key City Capital, we improve investment performance by diversifying capital into off-market investment opportunities in passive rental real estate and alternatives like asset-backed lending. We recover dollars that clients unnecessarily pay in the form of income taxes, creating a lifetime annuity of savings. We are a sponsor of passive, affordable single and multifamily residential rental investments, which are located in Sunbelt landlord-friendly states. These investments are the top choices in a rising interest rate and inflationary environment. They represent a store of value, protecting your capital from market volatility. Learn how we at Key City Capital can help you ultimately grow your wealth rapidly. Connect with me at keycitycapital.com or give me a call at 817-912-1569.
The Philippines putting a halt to offshore gambling operations, planning to deport 40,000 Chinese nationals working in the gaming industry. BBC's Laura Bicker.
Police in the Philippines claim that most kidnapping cases in the country took place in areas where offshore gaming operators and casinos were located, and most of the victims were Chinese nationals. Officers have been ordered by the Justice Ministry to carry out surveillance on sites. The sector emerged in the country in 2016 and grew quickly as operators capitalised on liberal gaming laws to target customers in China where gambling is banned.
The head of the UN's nuclear watchdog says he met with his Iranian counterpart in Vienna. Talks about an ongoing investigation into man-made uranium particles found at undeclared sites in Iran. News and analysis, townhall.com. Starbucks wants to begin contract talks next month at 234 U.S. stores that have voted to unionize.
The Seattle coffee giant said Monday it sent letters to stores in 36 states in the District of Columbia offering a 3-week window to start negotiations. But Workers United, the union organizing Starbucks workers, is skeptical. It notes that Starbucks opposes unionization. Just 3 stores have begun bargaining contracts with Starbucks in the U.S. since the start of this year. Keith Peters reporting.
8 cents in the past week. That's how much AAA says gas prices have risen. As of this morning, gasoline averaging $3.75 a gallon nationally. The main reason, according to the Auto Club, higher regional prices on the West Coast and in the Midwest due to refinery issues. Those issues range from planned maintenance outages to a refinery fire. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And due to some scheduling conflicts, probably on my part, I'll just go with that.
Sure. Yeah.
We're going to have a busy hour for you.
Sure,
here.
it's your fault, Mr. Beard.
Probably mine. I'll take the heat for it.
It's all good because actually I have to hit the road here in like 5 minutes anyways. I got to go meet with the folks from Red Dirt Black Gold 2022, which by the way is happening this weekend in Artesia in downtown. Yeah. So come on out and join us.
You're emceeing.
I'm emceeing. I'll be there pretty much all day in Artesia. So come on out and join us for the shindig for all the festivities. Headlined by the co-headlined by Chad Cook Band and I believe Jason Boland and the Stragglers. So
all right. So if you're going to be doing food out at Red Dirt Black Gold, hook Sean up.
Yes.
He needs food.
I do.
Yeah.
I actually get paid in food.
He does.
No, I joke, but that's how I started my career in radio, if you remember correctly.
Give him a sandwich, he'll promote it.
That's right. Every time. Put my name on the sandwich, like make my name the name of the sandwich, I'll promote it for life.
There you go. So we got a busy hour. I'm going to get started here pretty quick. We're going to first have the first part of the hour here. We're going to have Jim Townsend, who's New Mexico Legislature House Minority Leader, represents House District 54. He's going to join us, and we'll have a great conversation with him. And then in the bottom half of the hour here in a little bit, we'll have the folks from the Eastern New Mexico State Fair join us and give us an update on that. It's Rebecca Dow and Jim Townsend going to be joining us here for here in just a few minutes. So I got to I just got that edition as well. I just realized I was like, oh, Rebecca Dow's on the list there too. So she'll join us as well. And then of course we'll talk fair at the bottom half of the hour. All right, let's get everything going. We're going to take a break for the weather and a quick commercial break, and then we'll talk with Representative Townsend and Rebecca Dow here on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Low pressure east of the mountains, and that'll keep things dry for our area for the next few days. Daytime highs will be a little bit more comfortable, but still pretty warm. We're looking for upper 80s today and a lot of sunshine. Overnight will be clear. We'll cool off to the mid-50s, and then we're in the upper 80s with a sunny day coming up on Wednesday and again Thursday. Fair Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Here at the Tailgate Nation, we try to make our service department as friendly and convenient as possible. But sometimes you're just too busy to bring your vehicle in for the service it needs. So your friends at Roswell Ford have come up with a revolutionary new idea, mobile service. Instead of you bringing your vehicle to us, we'll come to you. That's right, the Roswell Ford mobile service crew can take care of routine maintenance and light repairs at your home, office, place of business, or just about anywhere your vehicle is. We can change your oil and filter, rotate your tires, replace your battery, change your windshield wipers, do a complete multi-point inspection, and more. Right in your own driveway or parking lot. And these are Ford factory-trained technicians who'll bring the right equipment, tools, and parts to get the job done correctly without interrupting your busy day. So how cool is that? Mobile service. Kind of makes you wonder why nobody thought of it before. Call the Roswell Ford Service Department to make an appointment. Then just sit back and relax.
I'm State Representative Greg Nybert. New Mexico ranks 50th in child well-being, and this statistic is not acceptable. Too often we see in the news where a child taken into state custody is returned to an abusive situation only to suffer more abuse, sometimes resulting in death. Chaves County is not immune. Chaves County CASA and its staff and volunteers understand the system and where things go wrong. I have met with CASA to understand how we need to create a better system of caring for abused and neglected children and to break the cycle of abuse. I listen to local experts and then engage the state agency at the highest levels. I will support legislation to bring about positive change. I ask for you to vote for me, Greg Nybert, to allow me to continue to be your effective conservative voice in Santa Fe. Voting begins on October 11th and Election Day is November 8th. Please vote Greg Nybert for State Representative District 59.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Representative, Richard Taylor, Treasurer. Get ready to get rowdy. The Eastern New Mexico State Fair and the Hondo Rodeo Company presents the Pecos Valley Stampede Ranch Rodeo, Friday and Saturday, October 7th and 8th, 6 p.m. at the Bob Crosby Arena, featuring the best in stray gathering, wild cow milking, trailer loading, and muley roping. Best of all, the Pecos Valley Stampede Ranch Rodeo is free with paid admission to the fair. It all goes down October 7th and 8th during the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Log on to enmsf.com to learn more. Ad paid for through the City of Roswell Lodgers Tax.
I have a snake for your drain. You might want to step back.
Oh no, baby.
All AC units moke a little. Is normal.
Oh no, baby.
Haha, now your sprinkler system's strong like bull.
Come on now. Don't let any fool work on your plumbing and air conditioning.
Fergalicious.
From clogged drains to sprinkler systems, Fergie's Plumbing and Heating is on the job. And who you gonna call for air filters and spring servicing on your AC unit?
Fergalicious.
Call Fergie's today, 622-2660. Nothing but love.
Fergalicious.
Score big during the Touchdown Super Sale on now at Roswell Honda with a roster of MVPs waiting for you to drive them off the lot. Get a 2013 Honda Accord for just $279 a month, 2016 Kia Soul for just $259 a month, or a 2013 Chevy Cruze for just $149 a month. Get a smartwatch and a 12-pack just for stopping by, an official NFL football with a test drive, and a Big 5 gift card with purchase. And sign up to win a 65-inch smart TV to be given away October 1st at 1 p.m. The Touchdown Super Sale on now at Roswell Honda. 2177 West 2nd.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 12 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, of course, House Minority Leader here for the for our state legislature here. Jim Townsend's with us, and Rebecca Dow, a gubernatorial candidate, and just what's official? You're just working for the party right now, and helping keep the Republican values. Reminding folks of them here in New Mexico.
I'm finishing out my term in the House.
There you go.
And
yes,
there's still a republic to save. So if I can help, you can help.
So, which, and of course, this is something. Of course, we have Greg Nybert on and Candy Spence-Ezell. We talk to them pretty regular here on the show and things, and we've had you on a few times as well. But you guys are kind of on an island when it comes to getting work done in the legislature. I mean, you get some help from, folks like Rebecca and some, from like Four Corners and other parts of the state, but you guys are in a losing battle pretty much every room you walk into, it seems like.
That is the perception sometimes because the numbers are different. But I will tell you that during the last legislative cycle, this caucus pulled it out.
Okay.
I mean, if it hadn't been for this caucus, we'd have had a 50-cent gas tax brought up. If it wasn't for this caucus, you would not have had a tax relief on Social Security. I can go on and on and on about the good things that this caucus. You would have had a terrible voting bill if it wasn't for this caucus. They voted. They stood their ground and they stopped all that. And if you go down all of the MLG bills that were had her name on it and tried to get through the legislature, this caucus is the one that stood the ground.
Yeah. Well, and I guess, do you guys ever get tired of, because at this point, you guys, your job as legislatures, almost the entire time yourself and some of these other conservative legislators have been in office, you spent your entire time building the wall to stop don't you get at some point you're like, when can I get into this job to do good government, to create things and do things that would be benefit New Mexico as opposed to trying to stop everything from destroying New Mexico. You know what I mean? It feels like your job is not to provide. Your job now is to basically be the guards at the gate to keep the fingers in the hole from keeping the dam from breaking here. I mean,
Mike, here's the issue. We work tireless almost every day. I was in Santa Fe yesterday. She was too. She was in Albuquerque. I mean, we're on the road constantly. But what keeps us grounded is the fact that we go back into our districts and we see the pain. We see the hurt. We see those people that are asking us, can you help us? And that, to me, and I know to Rebecca, energizes us to say, hey, this fight is worth fighting.
Sure.
This state is worth saving. And I just never liked second place very well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stay at it until we're in first place, and we will be.
Yeah, I mean the thing that I would say is help us help you.
Yeah.
When you look at the voter turnout in the highest
Sure.
Republican registered areas of the state, we got to do better. We can do better.
Well, it's time for people to look at history, and I think this is my biggest point I can make when in terms of what we're looking at in our political landscape and the history of New Mexico and how this state has been run since its inception before 1912, but officially once 1912 hit. But we've been run by one party. One party has made all of the decisions for this state for pretty much since it's been a state. Yes, there's been some opposition here and there, but for the most part, the Democrat agenda has been the one that's run this state since its inception.
And the Democratic agenda, quite frankly, is the reason that 20% of our seniors live in poverty. It's the reason we're 50th on our education scale.
That's the point I'm making.
It's the reason that our opportunity scale is in the low 40s.
Worst
we
tax
can do
code in the
better.
nation.
Absolutely.
Open borders.
Open borders.
Sure.
I mean,
3 fentanyl overdoses a day.
Absolutely. So I'm kind of curious on the Democrat side, because let's face it, to get anything done in a legislature, you guys need help.
We need voters because we can change it.
Are you seeing their party starting to separate into two factions, where the moderates versus the more progressives, or is that line still pretty blurry?
There's not very many moderates anymore.
Okay.
It's a progressive agenda that's totally run on.
I didn't know if
side.
there's a few maybe older Democrats that
There
are kind of
a few.
like, this is going too far. We need to bring it back in a little bit.
I hear that, but those people need to be much more vocal.
Gotcha.
And the Republicans need to step up. When we have voter turnout in Eddy, Chavis, and Otero, Lee County in the 25 and 30% on Republicans, it's really their fault.
Sure. And I've said this, I think I've said it with you, Rebecca, when you were running, for governor here, and I'm sure I've said this with you in the room. At this point, as a New Mexican, I just want to get us back to the middle. Amen. At this point. I'm like, yes, I could yes, conservative values, things my life, I practice many of that.
Yeah.
But I understand not everybody thinks like me and acts, and in this country you're allowed to do that.
And we should.
And you need to protect that. However, you've got to get a chance where everyone gets a say. And in this state, conservatives have not had that chance. They've never had that chance. And I'm telling people, you've been voting for the same people since you've been here your whole life, and you wonder why our numbers never get better, our things don't get better. And I'm like, you keep voting for the same type of people and expect things to change, and they're not happening. Is that politicians' fault, or is that our fault? And I'm starting to say it's our fault. We're the reason that's happening, and we need to do a better job of educating. And so I'm thinking, even if you're not necessarily dyed-in-the-wool conservative, if just to have balance of conservatives and liberals in the same room trying to solve a problem, it's going to fix the problem way better than everyone with the same mindset trying to fix it. A lot of things will get missed. A lot of abuses of power happen, things like that. And to be honest, it would be the other way too. If it was all conservatives and no liberals, we'd probably have the same problems. Yeah. Because when you get a bunch of people that are thinking,
our founding fathers smart? They warned us of the tyranny of the majority, and that's what we have in the state. But just Lee, Eddy, and Chaves County alone could change that.
Yeah,
you have enough registered conservatives, if they would go out and vote, even if half voted,
sure,
to win every statewide race.
Absolutely,
it's a big deal.
Yeah,
it's a big deal.
Yeah. And I get. People, you vote for people that you believe line up with you, and that's how it should work.
Well, speaking of oil and gas, and we can tell you who lines up with you, and that's why Townsend's here is to talk about oil and gas jobs and what we need.
Well, and let's face it, the oil and gas is the savior of the state, but treated like the redheaded stepchild at the same time. Whereas they need it because this state will die without it. But it's not sexy to support oil and gas because of the world we live in right now. But without oil and gas, you would have absolutely zero products. You would have you would be sitting in a cave with a fire.
If we don't elect Republicans, that's where we're headed.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy that to some it's not sexy that the best jobs in the state, the jobs where the unemployment is the lowest, where 3/4 of all of the state revenue is based on, and we sit here and say it's not sexy. Wow. I mean, how much sexier can you get when it turns the handle and makes the whole state run?
Absolutely.
And take the most woke snowflake in the world. They couldn't live without this sexy piece of, this smartphone.
Oil and gas is all over that thing, by the way.
All over it. And every Tesla, you think a Tesla's sexy? No, let's talk about how much oil and gas products is in that.
And here's the point that I've been making, and I'm not native to New Mexico. I moved here in the 90s. I was brought here by the Air Force and met my wife, and so I've been here for a long time, but I'm not native. But in that time, I've really learned and understand, that role that oil and gas serves in our community. And thing I've noticed so much over the years is that, yes, government regulation and things, there's got to be some of that. There's always, because if you don't, people will take advantage of things. But by and far, oil and gas industry is a industry that their people live in the same places where they're drilling, where they're doing the work and everything. So 9 times out of 10, most of these companies are going above and beyond what environmental regulations are made by the government to do things.
Well, you just go out. We have the fair starting in Chaves County here soon. You just go to the fair when the sale starts and look at how much money is in that sale barn.
Sure.
On sale day that comes from oil and gas.
Yeah.
They make the world turn.
Absolutely.
And it is so good because they support our community so well. They work in our communities. They want our communities to do good, and they really make it good.
Sure.
They really make it
Absolutely.
good.
But they almost, the other side or the anti-oil and gas are trying to say it's destroying the planet and all this. And I'm like, they go above and beyond the regulations. They live in these places. They're not out destroying the planet. They're working with the matter of fact.
They've improved the quality of life for people all over the world.
A lot of times, like when these sand dune lizards and prairie chickens start rolling in, and a lot of the times they've already mitigated for that kind of thing, so that the shrimp or whatever is protected or whatever they're trying to do, and then they're trying to list endangered species that aren't endangered, and that's another thing too.
But exempt the hardship on endangered species when you're talking about solar or wind.
And so it's
or
all
the energy they want.
Yeah, which by the way, none of that would happen to that oil and gas either.
That's right.
Exactly.
And when the sun goes down tonight,
yeah,
and the wind doesn't blow tomorrow,
yeah,
I hope it doesn't. Oil and gas is what makes our lights come on every day.
And I would say this too. Oil and gas industry, like every other major industry, they're smart people. They're going to adjust with the times and things. When they realize that oil production's dropping because they've got they're going to adjust. They're going to come up. Why do you think that oil companies and energy companies aren't investing in the other things too? Because they've got a foot in that fight as well.
It wasn't a regulatory agency that invented horizontal drilling.
Yeah.
It wasn't a government agency that says, I know how to frack this tight sands.
Yeah.
It was the innovative and the spirit of entrepreneurship in the oil and gas community that made all that happen.
Yes.
And even with all that going on, we're only recovering about 10 to 15% of the reserves. Did you realize that?
That's crazy.
Even today, there's 80 to 85% of the reserves left in place. And when we get the technology to sweep that tight sands, you're going to see things that happen that we just cannot believe in New Mexico.
Well,
and the whole world should say thank you.
Well, and this is something,
thank you to the oil and gas workers.
And I know during the gubernatorial campaign, we were talking with the yourself and some of the other, Zanetti was one I was thinking of, and when you listen to him talk about opportunities for this state. And you're right. It's one of these things that New Mexico should not be wanting for anything.
For nothing. We should be the richest state in the union.
We have the resources and the amenities to be one of the most productive, richest, like you said, states in the country. Maybe even in the world. We could be competing there with, your Orange counties and Montgomery counties and these counties that are the big, to be honest, we have the resources.
I just hope we're not to the point that we have more dollars than we have cents today, because we're going to have a lot of dollars.
Yeah. We have some candidates that are
deploying those to where they make our future generations stable and thrive. That's what our job is, and that's what we're here to do.
So Leader Townsend did a great job. All of folks across the state recruiting high quality candidates, and we're just weeks away from the election, and we've got competitive races, and that's why we're here. Talk about how exciting it is to know that we have very competitive races, enough that can turn the power in the House and make sure that we do have common sense, that we do have a balance that you're talking about.
Absolutely.
That New Mexicans want.
Well, we're both here today representing the New Mexico House Republicans, and we do that through the New Mexico House Republican Caucus Committee.
Okay.
NMHRCC.
Gotcha.
And our job is to fund all of these candidates all across the state and get them elected in their office.
Gotcha.
And so that's what we're here to do today, is to ask the people of New Mexico to help us. Go to nmhrcc.org and make a donation.
Good deal.
Help us help you.
And that's kind of helping the Republican Party throughout New Mexico, too.
That's specific to the House Republicans.
Good deal. Excellent, too. And just throwing in and pile on to some more, wire. Also, while we got a couple Wednesdays before a couple second Wednesdays before the next election, the Chaves County Federated Republican Women, they do kind of the same stuff.
Yes.
Right now, they're really focusing on educating the public.
Nice.
So every second Wednesday of the month, they've got candidates from all over the state, various House level to city and county level. To other state level positions, your public lands, those types of positions, all of that. They're having these candidates come, and you get to hear and speak and actually talk to them. So you can kind of hear how they think and feel and kind of line up with. So
and that's at noon at the convention center. Right?
Yeah, they do that the second Wednesday.
$10 for lunch.
They do.
It's really affordable, nice
yeah.
lunch. And I went to that a couple months ago. They had all three of the congressional candidates.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you've been gerrymandered, you have all three congressional candidates. They had Andy Reeb. So she's a new House representative candidate
Clovis,
DA
New
and
Mexico.
a DA from Clovis.
Right.
Very intelligent, understands crime, understands the issues with the courts
Sure.
and corrections, and she's running. And she'll
we'll
have
win.
a piece of Chavez. That's right.
Well, that's just it. We got a lot of smart people that have the answers and the options to do this, and they don't get a platform because the political climate. If you're not this, then we're going to drown you out. If you're not this, we're going to not give you a platform to do that.
Which is why
the
104,000 registered Republicans, that doesn't even count independents, declined estates, or others in Lee, Eddy, and Chavez County. If you'll just go vote, you get to drown out the progressives in every statewide race.
There you go.
From the top of the ticket.
It's so important. Employers, make sure your employees go vote.
Mm-hmm.
Family members, make sure your sons and daughters, mothers and fathers go vote.
Absolutely.
It is your responsibility. It is your duty, and it makes a difference in New Mexico when you go vote. Everybody
Absolutely.
should vote.
And I'll say this from the Republican Party needs help in the House.
Absolutely.
Senate and the House both.
Absolutely.
They need help. They need, as I said a while, we need to get back, we need to get back to middle before we start talking conservative. We got to get there before we get there. And
you've got Nybert, you've got Candy, you've got Representative Townsend, and now Andy Reid will win. She's got an opponent, but we believe she'll win.
Jimmy Mason will win down south.
Mason, yeah.
Good.
And so we're just asking you to give $25 to help the other folks.
Absolutely.
They're outnumbered in Bernalillo, but $25 makes a huge difference. That helps us reach 5 voters.
Sure.
So if everybody gave $25 today.
And it's just the way the world works. Is we live in a world where the more money you got, the more platforms and more places you get to speak your message.
It's very expensive to run races in Albuquerque, Santa Fe area. Much more expensive than it is down here. They're highly contested, and it makes a difference. These, not only does Southeast New Mexico make sure that all of our kids go to school, they also make sure that our state runs. And we just ask that they take $25. $25. Go to nmhrcc.org.
Okay. Make
that donation, and I promise you it'll be much appreciated, and we'll thank you for
Absolutely. And then for folks that aren't good at remembering stuff, what I'll have Tanner do is on our video here that people watch, we'll put the link in the comments there so you can go and just hit that button.
And if you happen to get a text message that asks you to save your job, your oil and gas job, because this is their religion. Green energy, climate control. I mean, this is a religion to these progressives, and they won't stop unless we stop them.
Well,
so you may get a text message asking you to give $25. That's us.
Well, and here's the irrational part. It's not that they're wanting something better to make it better. They just want it gone, regardless whether we have something to replace it or not. And that's
exactly.
And it's like the electric cars and stuff. It's like that's wonderful. We're making those strides.
They're doing it south with the
San Juan
generating plant right
now.
Yeah, they're admitting that they don't have enough power for the next 2 years, but they're going to shut it down at the end of the week.
Yeah.
And there's going to be rolling blackouts and brownouts by their own admission. And I tell you, I said it the other day on Twitter. If we have a rolling blackout in New Mexico, the first thing that ought to go black is the Capitol building.
Yes.
Then the second thing ought to be the governor's mansion, and every fool that voted for that bill
Absolutely.
ought to be living in the dark.
But I'm hearing things like in California now where, great, electric cars, but now, we don't have the grid to keep up with this, so you can only charge your cars on Thursdays or Friday. You know what I mean? Just weird. And it's like, I get if you're trying to make things better, but you got to have something to replace it first. I'm all for electric and technology, but it's not better than gas. Until I can get a truck that can haul as much as I need it to haul and can do it on 500 miles in one charge, then it is useless to me.
So
you know what I mean?
Clean fuel standard that they adopted, the energy
that was the
environmental improvement board.
Yeah,
they
the
adopted
EIB,
a California standard for small and mid-sized vehicles. They said it would take about 850 charging stations on the state and federal highways.
Wow.
They don't know what they're going to do in apartment complexes or how anybody's going to have energy to charge their vehicles when they all plug in at night.
All while you're shutting down a power plant that's providing the power.
Yeah.
And this is unelected governor-appointed bureaucrats, 3 of them. Same ones responsible for the methane rule. 3 or 5 of them. But anyways, they're voting for they're making these changes because they are appointed by a progressive governor who wants to look like
we just
California.
need to get some common sense back in
and that's
government.
it.
We just got
to get back to the middle. So there's some people talking sense in the room here. So like you said, please, register to vote. Like Hey, we're going to have the fair folks in a minute. There are going to be lots of opportunities to register to vote at the fair.
Absolutely.
I know the Republican Party will have their
We'll have a booth out there and make it handy for
Yes, and so and I imagine you'll probably over the course of the week get to meet a lot of our New Mexico candidates at the booth there at some point or another. So definitely give out that website one more time.
You bet, Mike. It's NMHRCC, New Mexico House Republican Caucus Committee, NMHRCC.org.
Very good. Well, Rebecca, Jim, thank you very much for spending time with us. Thank you for and good luck with this next session here. And I know you guys are. Hopefully, you got more soldiers fighting with you in January.
We absolutely will.
We will.
Good deal. Thank you, guys.
You bet.
All right, it is 9:33. We're going to take a quick break, and then the fair people have been patiently waiting, so we're going to bring them in on the other side. Don't go away.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Looking to rebound after falling into bear market territory, Wall Street opened higher this morning. The British pound has found its footing in Asian trading after plunging to a record low.
The stabilization comes as the Bank of England and the British government try to soothe markets nervous about a volatile UK economy. The instability is having real-world impacts, with several British mortgage lenders withdrawing deals amid concern that interest rates may soon rise sharply. The pound was trading at around $1.08 on Tuesday morning. On Monday, it plunged to under $1.04.
That's correspondent Jeremy House reporting. Well, it was nice while it lasted. The decline in gas prices coming to an end. AAA says pump prices have risen 8 cents a gallon in the past week, now averaging $3.75. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
This is the owner of Trustmark Roofing, and nothing makes us happier than telling our customers no. As in, no pricing games. We give you a guaranteed price, and then we stand by it. No surprises, no gotchas. No obscurity. We don't just tell you what's wrong with your roof. We record our inspections and show you. No lemons. We install premium roofing materials from top brands like Owens Corning. No shortcuts. We're in the 2% of roofers with the Owens Corning Preferred Contractor Certificate for our local area. This means we offer precision installation and the longest warranties. Want a beautiful new roof that's built to last? Choose Trustmark Roofing, the roofer that loves to tell our customers no. For an estimate, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Hello, I'm Tara Mitcha, State Director for the National Rifle Association, letting you know that the NRA Political Victory Fund endorses State Representative Greg Nybert for re-election in House District 59. Greg has worked relentlessly to support our Second Amendment rights and to oppose legislation that restricts law-abiding gun owners. Progressive politicians in Santa Fe have an agenda that would erode our right to protect our families, our homes, and ourselves. Greg Nybert will vigorously oppose those who want to tread on our right to keep and bear arms and our precious liberty and freedom. He is a true friend of the Second Amendment and of our sporting heritage in New Mexico. Vote Greg Nybert, representative for House District 59.
Exciting news from Richland Motors on West 2nd and Roswell. Here's Richland sales manager Freddie Souza to tell you all about it.
Hey, Freddie Souza here, and our lot is finally full. We have both new and used vehicles with a wide variety to choose from. Whether you want economical or top of the line, we have it. And something we haven't seen in nearly 2 years, a large selection of brand new trucks straight from the factory. And Richland Motors is one of the only dealerships with zero markup on new trucks. So hurry in today to Richland, because we're not sure how long they'll last.
Make your way to Richland on West 2nd and Roswell for your next vehicle. Se habla español. Gear up for hunting season with LGS Guns and Ammo, Southeastern New Mexico's official home for everything you need to make the most out of this season. From rifles and ammo to scopes, optics, game calls, scents, and more. From brands you know and love like Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Mossberg, and so much more. Be ready for everything this hunting season throws your way with the help of LGS Guns and Ammo, Southeastern New Mexico's authority for guns and ammunition, across from Target in Roswell and at 109 North Del Paso in Hobbs. And online 24/7 at lgsguns.com. The season rolls on for your Roswell Coyotes, and coming up this Friday night, your Coyotes are back home at the Wool Bowl, squaring off against the Panthers of Piedra Vista High. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and KSVPTV.com has got you covered with every second of the action. Join Art Sandoval and Kelly McDonald for the pregame show at 6:45 and kickoff at 7. Coyotes versus the Panthers of Piedra Vista, Friday beginning at 6:45 on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and online at KSVPTV.com. Southeastern New Mexico's sports authority, then, now, and always.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 38 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, of course, we have Chris Spear and Dr. Craig Walker. Dr.
Just
Walker.
call me Walker.
Walker's
great.
I'm used to calling him Dr. Walker here. Joining us from the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Wearing those hats this morning. Good morning, gentlemen. How y'all doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Anytime. Love. It's a great time of year, the fair, and it's fun because, especially after the last few years, it's nice to just have a normal fair.
Yeah,
normal.
Absolutely.
It's the 100th, so it's not normal because it's a special one, but normal in the fact that it looks like a fair, smells like a fair, walks like a fair, talks like a fair.
You bet.
So,
we spent a lot of time not having that, so we're certainly glad. Last year was the first year back, and we look for this one to be even bigger and better.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun week, and actually the fair's so big that it's going to start before the official start of the fair. I want to remind folks that Friday and Saturday, they're going to have the carnival going on out there. They're going to have the first livestock shows are actually Saturday, I believe.
Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday. So there was some on Friday as well, too. But even though the parade is on Monday, which is the official start of the fair, that'll be Monday morning. But this Friday is actually the start of the fair. So if you want to get your rides on and come out and support the kids for these early livestock shows, this weekend's start making plans.
And the livestock shows this weekend is actually an open event. It's actually, there will be kids showing.
Okay.
But it is. Is it
like Run What You Brung in the car racing world here? Is it
kind of the same?
It's actually open to the world. I think we've got some exhibitors coming in from Pennsylvania, Colorado, Waco, Texas area, up the road in Hondo. So. I think that they had thought that there'd be anywhere from 125 to 150 entries for the Texas Longhorn Show that's going to be happening Friday and Saturday.
Oh, cool. Well, that's a cool one to watch. The Longhorns always draw a crowd because they're unique in the way they look, and they look like those. It's like, why do their horns so big? I don't feel like it works well with those animals, but
it works out for them. They know exactly where that tip is up there. I'll promise you.
It's just like, man, that looks awkward.
Yeah, exactly.
How do they sleep? No.
Yes, right.
Well, they on a tilt.
Yeah. But they great at hanging coats.
Yeah. That's right. That's exactly right.
But they are a cool animal to kind of see and work, and those are fun because the bigger the animal and the smaller the kid is just fun to watch because you'd think the kid's overwhelmed, but he's not. Or she's not. No. They take care of business. But it's just funny to see a kid that's like barely 3 feet tall, working an 800-pound animal.
800. Those steers will be 1,500 pounds.
1,500. So full ball in it.
It is impressive. But it goes to show what kind of effort those kids and parents and 4-H and FFA leaders put into that whole process. You just don't walk in there with one and hand it off to a 9-year-old kid.
Sure.
So there's a lot that goes into it. So the more support we get for those kids, the better off we are.
And we got a chance to talk to some other board members yesterday, and it really is. This is why I love the livestock shows and everything, because it's such the fabric of the community. It is the heart and soul of this community.
Absolutely.
The values which Southeast New Mexico, live by, the things that we do here. It all is the heart of it is livestock shows at the fairs. These kids learning the way of life of farming and ranching and how that vital that role is, and they do it by this kind of way. And these kids that are manhandling 1,500-pound bulls, are going to be the ones running the farm and ranch, running the fair board, running
Absolutely.
running
your country.
your country.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it just builds on itself, and it's a unique program.
Yeah, and that's why I love it so much, because it's you're seeing the foundation being built for great things.
Absolutely.
And that's why the fair is so awesome, and particularly the livestock shows and not just livestock, but the sewing, the arts and crafts, the pumpkin growing, all of it is part of it.
Yeah,
so
it is.
So please support it. Come out and be a part. It's definitely, I know we talked more about the junior livestock sale yesterday, but that Saturday morning is going to be a busy day for everybody. So please come out and support that. Come watch, because it's fun to watch too. Because your head spins sometimes. You're like, how much money did they pay for that? Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
And
perfect.
It's fun to do. So please come. And I said this yesterday. You don't have to know a thing about farming and ranching to enjoy livestock shows. It's just fun. I grew up in Maryland. I was a city boy. I've been in New Mexico a long time, but I'll just get there and I don't know a dang thing what they're looking at. I'm like, why does he keep staring at that pig's leg? I don't get it, but okay.
And I'll let Chris talk about it, but it's going to be really fun for the Longhorn show. I mean, not only are they going to be showing cattle live on the halter, they're going to show them off halter, and they're actually going to have what they call it, trophy steer.
Yeah, they're supposed to have trophy steer show and performance steer show.
Okay,
they ride them.
So this is kind of a Super Bowl of Longhorns type events here,
right? And in the International Longhorn Breeders Association, they have all kinds of events. So we're actually going to have miniature Longhorns. Tiny Tim is supposed to be making.
How big is a miniature Longhorn?
So Tiny Tim weighs 125 pounds. I have not seen what his horn spread is yet, but he is a very popular critter at 2 years old. Everywhere he goes.
Is that pet size, or is that still a little too big?
It's one
like
that
a
I
big
would work
Doberman.
on. It's one, yeah, exactly.
Or a Great Dane or something.
And then you can get some of them 7-8-year-old trophy steers or performance steers in there that have potentially up to an 8-foot horn spread that weigh 1,800 pounds.
Wow.
And,
they're beautiful to look at.
Oh, they're gorgeous. And and that's what's neat about the Longhorns is they serve a dual purpose. Not only are they a meat animal potentially at the end of the day, but they're also an ornamental animal. So you see the hides and the horns that get hung up and things like that. So, I mean, they're kind of a dual purpose.
Are Longhorns used for any kind of hauling or anything, or is it strictly, I mean, did they get ox-type duties?
They used to, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, think about the Chisholm Trail when you're talking about what it means to this area. I mean, that Chisholm Trail was loaded with Longhorn cattle.
Gotcha. I didn't know if that was part of the role of Longhorns,
absolutely.
too, as
Yeah,
well.
you see
Because they kind of have that, they're built short and squatty, like,
you bet.
They're meant to pull stuff.
Right. and and you look at all the old pictures of back in the days, and that's what a lot of people ran were Longhorn cattle. I mean, they're kind of the original, and they're they came up out of Mexico, and they were brought over with Christopher Columbus and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's a lot of history that goes back into the Longhorn Association and the breed itself.
Sure. How much, now I'm curious, like, in the judging side, how much of the horns judged in that? Is that a big part of it, or is that a minor part of the judging?
It all depends on that man's opinion on that given day. I mean, obviously those animals have to be able to travel the countryside. They've got to be able to move. So structure's going to be, how they move, kind of like the feet and legs when you were talking about the pigs just a minute ago.
Sure.
How can they travel the terrain? But there is a huge, in my opinion, probably a big ornamental factor to what that hide and horn potentially brings at the end of the day.
Gotcha.
As to the
I didn't know if that was like the trophy or if that's just a small sliver in the.
I think it's important. And I haven't ever showed Longhorns ever before, but I'm assuming that that's a pretty
because I mean that's the first thing you notice when you look at a Longhorn. You're like, that's a Longhorn because it's got 8-foot long horns on the side.
That is correct.
So that's kind of its signature thing.
Yes.
So I didn't know how much of that was like the thing, or because I know there's so much more that they're looking at than how healthy the animal is, what the muscle structure, the bone structure, all of that's relevant to it. But I didn't know if there was more weight. Well, beautiful structure, but them horns are kind of tiny. So
there is that.
It does play into that factor as to how they place for sure.
Gotcha. Or they don't point quite the same.
That's right.
Exactly. But that one won't look good on the front of my Boss Hog car.
Yes, exactly.
That's exactly right.
By the way, more people should bring those back, by the way. I love that look. But support the fair. Support these kids. Support the people that come out and do this. And what time is the livestock show? The Longhorn show.
So the Longhorn show on Friday is going to start at 10 o'clock. It's going to be in the normal show arena there behind the fair office. The show on Saturday is going to be a non-haltered show, so they actually kick them loose in the rodeo arena.
Okay,
and they'll
out at
judge
the Bob
them there.
Crosby
Yep,
Arena
out at the
there.
Bob Crosby Arena on Saturday at 10 o'clock.
So if you come out for strictly for it on Friday, you can park in the regular parking, but
Yes.
for Saturday, you might want to park closer to the rodeo arena.
Correct.
there, unless you don't mind walking.
You can park in both places.
Yeah, you'll
So-
get there either way. But if you're like, I only got so many steps, I'm gonna use
correct.
them all here.
Yes.
Park by the rodeo. But
And come out. It's gonna be a fun show. So
it's going to be fun.
cool.
Come on out and then check out the shows. And then when you're hungry and ready to do, the carnival will be open. Now, all the food booths won't be fully open until Monday.
That's correct.
The local ones, some of your local favorites and stuff, they'll be there Monday. But with the carnival being available Friday and Saturday, they have their own food vendors that are, so if you want to get your corn dogs and chicken on a stick and things like that, that'll have all of that. But if you're looking for your more local flair, you're going to have to wait till Monday.
That's correct.
So.
And I don't believe there's any charge to get into the fair on Friday or Saturday.
Yeah,
if
just
they go to the
cost of
carnival.
rides or whatever, you know, you buy your food and that kind of thing. So no admission, everything else. And Sunday, everything's kind of closing down while they get ready for Monday.
Sunday's the closing or the calming before the storm when all the junior livestock start moving
rally,
in.
regroup, and getting everything set up. And because that's when all the kids will start coming in and getting their spots for the week and things like that.
Correct.
It's a lot of moving parts that day.
Yes.
So it's even though it's not the public part, it's probably equally busy at the fairgrounds on Sundays it is Monday.
That's right.
And then don't forget, Fair Parade gets underway Monday. I believe 10 a.m. Just like years past, it'll start 10 a.m. They come out of the Wool Bowl
Come out of
college, and then so if you get on Main Street between College and I always say the old Sears, but that don't work now. The Ashley Home Store. That's anywhere on Main Street. That's your best spot now. If there's performances, things like that, they're going to do that in front of the judges who are always parked there on the Chaves County Courthouse lawn. So if you're wanting to see kind of any main event stuff, the closer to the courthouse lawn, the better. But everyone else has that same idea. So if you like a little elbow room, maybe spread farther north or south.
That's correct.
And they start closing Main Street down about 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, they do it early. So if you've got early affairs to get to work to and stuff, be aware that you may have to take a different path depending if you go downtown. But and then as soon as that's over, book it to the fairgrounds because it's game on out at the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Opening the livestock shows, everything. The carnival will start that night, and just everything will go from there.
Correct.
As always, your best resource for anything related to the Eastern New Mexico State Fair is the fair book and the website. It's really easy to remember. It's the initials for the Eastern New Mexico State Fair, www.enmsf.com. Go there, and if you want to get the fair book, there's tabs at the top. If you hit the one that says participate, and then there's one that says fair book, and I think this talks about admissions or something. There's a couple different things, but if you want the one that says fair book, you click that, and then the entire fair book. If you're entering in any of the competitions, I know like the food stuff's going to be turned in this weekend. Some of the sewing was turned in last weekend.
Yes.
But if you still got time to sign up for that, of course, if you are participating in any other livestock shows or any of that stuff, all your rules, all of your information's right there.
And Facebook is also a good resource on the Eastern New Mexico State Fair.
The week
Facebook
of the
page.
fair, that's going to be your best friend.
Yeah.
Because anytime there's changes to the fair, and there's going to be, weather just doesn't want, something happens, someone's busted, make it in, so they got to move back something, or a rain happened, and anytime there's those changes in events or moving of event, they always put it to the Eastern New Mexico State Fair Facebook page first.
Correct.
So, and I ain't gonna lie, when people like me are looking for that, that's where we go. So if you want to know first, just like and follow that, and that way you can stay up to date. And then, of course, if you have questions or, if you're like, well, what's going on at the fair today? Just go to that page, and they usually tell you, oh, don't forget today so-and-so's in concert or this event or it's senior day or something like
Absolutely.
that. So it's the best way to kind of just stay up to date on what's going on all next week at the fair here. So
that is right.
Come see the Longhorns. I think I'm telling you, if you know nothing about farming and livestock and ranching, come out just to see it because it's visually cool because, like you said, Longhorns are just cool to look at. They got big, giant horns, and they're short and squatty and size of Montana.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably equally as fun to watch them try to load them and unload them out of the trailers.
I would imagine, And then I'm sure if any of them are having a bad day or something or just in an ornery mood, then it's a nightmare to get them to do something.
It gets interesting. There's no doubt.
But then these kids, it's the the life. They know it and they do it, and it's impressive to watch.
It is.
I gain so much respect for these kids after the week at the fair, because you just see the hard work you see, and that's why the junior lifestyle, again, putting in a plug for that on Saturday, that is because it's the fruit of their labor. These kids have busted their hump, some for years, some this is the first year.
Well, and in this set of projects here that'll be showing this year, they've started those basically
almost a year ago.
Yeah. Right at the conclusion of last year's
things
fair.
like that. Those the bigger animals, they got them like right after the fair.
Absolutely.
Yep. Steers and heifers, they're being purchased now for the 2023 shows.
Matter of fact, the Longhorn kids are probably now looking at their ones for next year. The ones that are participating in the Longhorn.
Absolutely, it's not just show up and it's a week worth of the kids doing their stuff. This has been a year-long process for the majority of them, and it is impressive, and come support them. That's
it's
a big
fun
thing.
too. That's just it. It's so like you wouldn't think sitting in a room watching a bunch of people walk around with animals would be exciting, but it's fun. Yeah. It's so much fun to watch because they're kids, and then you put kids in anything, there's entertainment. It's just like if you want to laugh, and I'm not trying to do this to make, because it's just fun to watch. Watch Swine Day.
Oh yeah.
Watch Swine Day when all these kids are with their little boards trying to navigate pigs that may or may not want to go in the direction you're wanting to put them in.
That's right.
And it's controlled chaos, and it's a hoot to watch when you're not. It's almost like watching like a Three Stooges show where you're not wrapped up. You're just sitting from afar and watching the people. You're like, oh man, this ain't going to end well. And it's a little like that too with these kids and stuff. I mean, everything's safe.
It sure can be.
It's just chaos. And watching kids who have youth and energy run around trying to, it's. You ever seen Rocky? How funny is it watching Rocky chase a chicken around in a it's that, but with pigs and little kids. It's just fun. Yeah. And by the way, these kids, then you see them the next year and they're a little bit more mature and they handle that pig a little bit better. And it's just, it's fun to watch that growth, fun to watch these kids learning to their ways to being adults. And that's at the end of the day, that's what the fair is all about. That's what it is.
Raising kids with livestock is what we do.
Absolutely. So come go to the Eastern Mexico State Fair website, download the fair book, get the list of entertainment. They got some great entertainment again this year. And again, don't forget all the concerts. I know we come out for the fair food and the rides and the concerts, and hopefully you get to see the livestock show or the education building and all that. But come out for these things. Of course, the concerts, all of those concerts are free with your admission into the fair. You paid to get in the fair. The concert's already there for you.
Correct.
So you get to go see it. So on those nights for the concerts, again, go to the fair website. You'll see every night's entertainment and some of the daily entertainment stuff that's going to be going on out there all the time. Stuff for the kids.
Visit the commercial building with the local businesses that set up
Absolutely.
out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Make sure you support those guys too.
Yeah, that building,
everything local.
Yeah, and of course that building is popular when it gets hot. You're like, all right, let's go in the commercial building, cool off a little bit, or the education building is another great one. That's my favorite building in the place.
And who doesn't like to watch the trains?
The trains, and I hear they're looking for new members.
Yes,
like some of them are getting a little long in the tooth, and they need the young blood to kind of take over the train.
It's like everything.
Yeah, it's like everything else in life. So if you're really into the model railroad, and talk to those folks. They're out there all year long. They're you just see them during this week at the fair, but they're there pretty much every weekend, building and constructing and creating and tinkering and trying to go bigger, faster, stronger. Yep. And and they need some new people to do that. Matter of fact, I think my boss is going to be because he's kind of into that. And because we have a couple of the trains, cars of all of our radio stations are in there, and his father-in-law was a train guy and all that, so they kind of, it's a special place in their heart. But I think they got him to do some conducting during the week. He's going to go in there and run the trains for a little bit and stuff. So it's all part of the fair.
Yep.
It's just I like the pumpkin thing because I love you got a group of farmers, ranchers, people. There's stalwarts in our community, and they've been basically talking smack to each other, growing pumpkins for a long time.
All the time. Every year, that's the best part about it.
And that's my favorite part. I love to come and see, all right, who won the bragging rights this year?
And what did they name them? I guess the names are always kind of funny, too.
Yeah. And it's just because they're big gelatinous messes.
That's right.
It looks like they all look like pumpkins that melted.
Yes. Yep. That's
They're
exactly
so
right.
big in size that the structure can't hold its weight anymore. So it's just this goo of pumpkin, and it's just cool.
That's perfect.
It's just cool. I love it. I love
all the oversized vegetables that are in the display there too.
It's
is
just
always
fun.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just so many cool things to see.
Lots
and
of great
all that.
things out there. Come out and see it.
I'm curious. Yeah, we're out of time, but I'm curious. Whatever happens, like, do they make a bunch of pies out of those pumpkins, or do they like chuck them, or what?
No, actually, it's like that. I don't. They feed them. I mean, they can be fed to cattle and whatever.
Okay, I didn't know if they fed
But
them to-
usually, what they'll do is those guys that are participating in that actually split up the seeds out of the champion, and then they hand them out to their buddies
for next year.
For the
Okay,
next
so
year.
you can grow your own giant
correct.
pumpkin.
Mm-hmm. So I'm sure there's some of
Because
that.
there's so many
going on.
different things you'd want. Like, all right, let's help and feed some people, but can we drop one of these off a crane or something?
Yeah, exactly. Just for fun.
That could be kind of fun. Maybe we ought to have the pumpkin drop.
Yeah, just for fun.
I think we should do that one year. Maybe the grand champion. We're going to drop it from a crane.
But I'm not sure those giant pumpkins are necessarily the edible variety that you would make pumpkin
Yeah,
pies
probably
and
not
stuff
the
out
best
with.
pies
That's
and
right.
things for them. You know, sometimes bigger isn't always tastier.
That is correct. That is correct.
Again, if anybody has any questions, want more information, go to the website, Eastern New Mexico State Fair's website, enmsf.com. Like and follow the Eastern New Mexico State Fair Facebook page. It's going to be your friend next week, trust me.
Correct.
And come out this weekend. Don't have to wait till Monday for the parade to come and participate in the fair. Come on out Friday night. After you get off work and school, head on out to the fairgrounds and, have dinner out there, and then come check out the livestock shows. Come check out the Longhorns, and then spin around on a merry-go wheel or a Ferris wheel or something.
Absolutely.
And have some good time out there.
Have fun.
Good deal. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
Mike.
for hanging out a little
Thanks for
bit.
having
I
us.
appreciate
You bet. Not a problem.
You working with us on that.
Not a problem.
And we'll see you all in the fair, and hopefully I don't have to see you too soon.
I
My
understand.
my cats are good, so
I understand.
we're good now. So.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys.
Love it.
Anytime. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
All right, that's going to do it for us. This show, it's already 10 o'clock. This morning's been zipping by. If you missed any part of the show, don't forget, check it out at your leisure, ksvptv.com or our 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM Facebook wall. We'll be back bright and early 7 a.m. with a brand new show, and we thank each and every one of you for allowing us to be a part of your day. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.